Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This is the third and final part of my Silent Hill 1 story playthrough series over on YouTube. Again, I've been playing Silent Hill 1 over on my live streams, doing a bit of a story/lore playthrough of it. And I've been putting the VODs on YouTube just in case people miss the streams or are interested in watching some Silent Hill. The other parts to my Silent Hill streams are also on the channel and in the description below in case you want some more context for this part right now. Now then, let's get into it and I hope you enjoy. This is a resort area map. So now we're on the resort area. So we've been to 3 places of Silent Hill. We've been to Old Silent Hill, which is like the residential place. Yesterday we were focused on Central Silent Hill, so the commercial area. That's where the hospital is, the police station, stuff like that. Now we're in the resort area of the town, which is what Silent Hill is known for in the normal world. A tourist attraction town. Also, Pepita, welcome in. Hello, hello. Hope you're doing well. Ouch. I hit my bottle against my chair. Gotta stay hydrated. I'm gonna be talking so much. I have been talking so much these past few days, but I love it. So now we're here. Cheryl may be here. Chad, do you think we will find our missing daughter? Is Harry gonna find his daughter? Are we gonna find Cheryl? After all we've been through, will we find her in Silent Hill? But yeah, the nightmare world is the other world. I forgot to mention, it's called the other world. But the other world is you know, trying to take its influence in this town. And Cheryl may be involved in that, since Sybil mentioned last time that she saw her, or what looked like her, walking on thin air. Some crazy magic is going on here. Also, I hear something. Who is it? Who is it? Ah, it's the pterodactyl! It's the pterodactyl! Yes, yapping. Harry just crashed into a wall. Woo! I would say I'd be doing very well when it comes to managing the enemies in this game, as opposed to when I last time I streamed this game back in October for the first time, and I was terrible trying to understand tank controls. Yes, this is a 1999 game, and so we had to deal with tank controls. That's how games were like back then. Not easy free movement of your character. Oh my god, there are so many flying things who want to take my head off. Dogs! Burger! Chad, there's so many burger stores in Silent Hill, man. People in Silent Hill love their burgers, huh? I don't need to be here. So, let's see, can we find Cheryl? Can we find Cheryl? Can we find Cheryl? Can we find Cheryl? There's a thing we can do here, though. And it's related to a subplot, or a side story in the overall arching events of the game. It is not here. This is somewhere else. Ow! Oh my god, it's the frog monster, as Pepita calls it. The rompers. Romping it up. Hopping and romping. You know, you could say they're like frogs, but they also like rabbits as well, you know. As they hop around. Okay, hold on a minute. Hold on. I am being chased to, like, hell right now. Annie's bar. Yes, that's where I need to go. Okay. We're going to the bar. Hold up. We're going to the bar. Hopefully. Hopefully. Hopefully? Okay. Inside we go. Oh, cutscene. Oh no! It's Kaufman! He's being hugged by a mumbler.
Are you okay?
Kick.
Yeah, I guess so.
This is Michael Kaufman.
But I thought I was a goner there.
He's the director of the
So how'd it
hospital
go?
in Silent Hill.
Did you find a way out?
No, not yet. How about you?
Zip. But it's too soon to give up. This craziness can't go on forever. A military rescue squad should be here any time now. If they come through the town, we're home free.
I hope so.
I better get going. This isn't the time to stand around flapping our gums.
Damn, okay.
Do you know a girl called Alessa?
No.
Yes. I thought you were going to say rats? What? Why rats? They don't remind me of rats. What made you think that? So that was Michael Kaufman again, for those of you who don't know. That is we met him yesterday in the hospital. He is the director of the hospital at Alchemilla. He runs it. Now, it's important to note that he runs Alchemilla Hospital. And if you were here yesterday when we were going through Alchemilla Hospital in the other world, in the Nightmare world, you would have seen that we found the top secret basement of the hospital, where it is kept away from everyone else, even to some workers or nurses at the hospital, where we went to a specific room, and inside the room there was a bed, which looked like a gurney with like a blood drip on the side, and a picture frame on top of this, some sort of like mechanical machine on the bed. And on the picture frame, there was a picture of someone called Alessa. And Alessa is this girl that we've been seeing throughout the game. She is the one that caused Harry to crash his car at the start of the game. We also saw Alessa at the end of the school nightmare. After the otherworld sequence in the school, we saw an apparition, a projection almost of herself, Alessa, after that sequence in the school. And then we see the picture of Alessa in Alchemilla Hospital. So there's this mysterious girl called Alessa who also may be involved in what is going on here, but we don't fully know. And the reason, Harry asked Kaufman about Alessa is because of the fact that we found that in the hospital that Kaufman runs. So when Harry asks, do you know someone called Alessa? Kaufman is like, no, and just walks away. Now, would you trust that? Would you trust that response? That quick, simple no from him? Would you trust that? Or would you suspect that something is sus? So, again, it's hard for me to explain everything, which is why, again, I have been uploading my VODs of my story playthrough on the YouTube. So definitely check them out. But a lot is happening, and soon enough, it will all start to make sense after I explain through it today and as we go through. Because it is a lot. It is a lot. This is a dense story. It's a deep story. There's a lot going on. We have cult activities. We have nightmares manifesting into reality. We have drug trafficking going on in the town. And yes, all of that is going to link to the main events of the story in some way. This is also a side event, so we don't actually have to come to this place and help Kaufman. But we did, because I want to show I want to show the good ending. There are 4 endings in this game. No, not 4, sorry. There's 5 endings in this game. There are 2 bad endings, and then there are 2 good endings. And then one of the endings is a special UFO ending. Yes. UFO ending. I don't even know what's happening. I'm just happy to be here. Well, I appreciate it. Again, if you want to know context, I have been putting my VODs of this story playthrough on the YouTube. So definitely check them out if you are interested or intrigued to learn a bit more. But yeah, this is a side quest story thing that we're doing. But the reason I'm doing this is because I want to do the good ending. And the reason I wanted to do the good ending is because it's sort of canon to the franchise because of Silent Hill 3, which I also want to play at some point very soon. So, picked up something from Kaufman here. It looks like it's full of stuff. I've got a Kaufman key. I've got a receipt. Kaufman key. A 3 is written on the tag. The key was thought to have been dropped by Kaufman. Receipt. Receipt from general store. Thought to have been dropped by Kaufman. So we have this receipt here. There's a code on here. And it says 0473. And on the receipt, it says Indian Runner. So that is a shop literally right next to the bar. So we can now go there and check stuff out. Again, this is all sort of optional. You don't have to do this. But I am. Because this will lead you to getting the good ending for this game. Because we love good endings, right? We all like a happy end to a horrific adventure. Right. There are so many enemies here. I'm just gonna run. I'm honestly gonna be chased by so much stuff that wants to be dead. So I'm running. I'm running to Indian Runner. This is Indian Runner. There is a padlock on here. So that's where we put our code in. 04... Was it 0470? 8? Oh, 3. Okay. Nice. I have bad short-term memory, so I will forget things in an instant after I look at it from 5 seconds ago. Okay, so this is Indian Runner. I believe this is like some sort of convenience store or something. Fedi X. Ah, yes. Fedi X. Totally not a reference to a real life company. Right? Right? So, you may be wondering why we are here. So, just as a reminder, we got this stuff from Kaufman. Kaufman. I don't know how you pronounce his name. There's many ways to pronounce it. So let's see. Let's investigate. Not April. Oh my God, it's April right now. August 20th. He came by. I handed over the package that the woman left here. September 12th. He showed up at Norman's too. Don't want to be involved with the likes of them anymore, but I'm getting creeped out even more than before. Thought of leaving town, but I'm afraid of what will happen if I do. So, you could assume that this is maybe the owner of this store writing down some stuff. He came by. I handed over the package, quote unquote, that the woman left here. September 12th. Showed up at... So he... Who do we think he is? It's probably Kaufman, right? 3 loaves of bread, 3 cartons of milk, 2 dozen eggs. Delivered to back door daily 8 a.m. Rear entrance code 0886. Norman Young. So we got another code. Norman's grand opening. That's Norman on that paper. Look at that nice glitched out pixelated picture. Oh. Yes. So, again, I did mention earlier, but there is a subplot here to do with drugs going on in Silent Hill. There's drug trafficking. That's why Sybil is here. That's why Sybil Bennett, the police officer that we've seen. That's why she's here. She's investigating that in Silent Hill. So there's a subplot with that going on. And we got a safe key. And there is a safe right here in the counter. What could it possibly be? Well, let's open it with the safe key. Use the safe key, and... What is this? Drugs? Question mark? Drugs. So now we have this thing going on here where we're in a store where someone was maybe doing some drug trafficking. Just as a reminder, chat, this game is... This game is, goes through some very crazy effed up stuff. So, you have been warned. But, yes. So we mentioned that there's a drug subplot going on, and there's drugs right there. So, we now are seeing this firsthand, that there was some sort of drug trafficking going on in the town. And very incidentally, we got access to this place from Kaufman. This is Kaufman's receipt with the code on it from Indian Runner. So Kaufman would have been here before, possibly doing some business. Sus. Very sus. Remember, Kaufman runs the hospital. He is the director of Alchemilla Hospital in Silent Hill, where the secret, mysterious basement resides with the Alessa picture. Also, I've been grabbed. Please stop eating me. So Kaufman may be sus. In this economy. Exactly. In this economy? In 1999? I'm just joking. Also, no, this game was not set in 1999. There is no definitive timeline for when this game takes place. So don't ask me what year this takes place in, because it is intentional that there is no timeline for when Silent Hill 1 takes place. It is not even stated by the devs. There is no timeline. Also, this is the motel that we got the code for in Indian Runner. That was the code. We can go in it now. So again, this is all optional. We don't have to do this, but I'm doing this because I want to get the good ending, and it relates to that good ending. There is a magnet. Take the magnet. Oh god. Wait. I'm gonna cover this because yes. But newspaper. there's a newspaper right here. It's the same date as the one in the hospital. So in the hospital, there was a newspaper that we found which was which was like ripped open and ripped apart. Like a page was ripped apart from the whole thing, almost deliberately ripped apart. And now this is that same newspaper, but that other ripped piece is located here. Okay, now my model covers it. Okay. There's a questionable picture on the thing there. It's investigation stalled. PTV dealers still at large. Suspicious deaths continue. Like the anti-drug mayor, a narcotics officer dies of a sudden heart failure of unknown origin. So this relates to what we read in the police station yesterday about how there was this police officer called Officer Gucci who died mysteriously, according to the coroner, from a heart attack, although he never had prior symptoms of that. And now we've also found out that the mayor of the town of Silent Hill also died in a mysterious, unknown way. Now, considering this is an anti-drug mayor and a narcotics officer that have died, you could kind of see some parallels as to maybe the fact that maybe they didn't die naturally and that it was all done on purpose. But again, that mention of PTV. So, again, there's this drug trafficking going on in the town, and PTV is the name of that drug. And we also found out yesterday, that this drug is made from a flower called White Claudia, which only grows in this town by the lake. So you can kind of see what's going on here. We're starting to get a lot of information related to, the drug trafficking going on in the town. And now if you add that to the idea that Dr. Michael Kaufman, who runs the hospital, who we've now met as sort of just a guy who's also involved in the nightmare with us, he may be involved with this stuff. And now that paints a different picture on him in all of this. Because if he's related in all of this stuff, then does that link with what's going on in the hospital basement with the secret bedroom with the Alessa picture? So, again, as we go through and get closer to the end of this playthrough, things are going to start connecting together. So, there's a guest register. Nothing special written here. And since now we're at the motel, that newspaper article is located here, ripped away from the one in the hospital to here. So this motel may be also involved in some of those works that were going on, those shady businesses. There's a vending machine. It doesn't work. Damn. No 7-Up for me today. It's unlocked. Right. Now, just as a reminder as well, we do have a key with the number 3 written on it. So I think we could all assume that this is maybe a key to a room in the motel that maybe Kaufman was staying at. So room number 3. Let's go to room number 3. Which is this one. So this is Kaufman's room that we're snooping into. This bathroom has no toilet. Very interesting motel design choice. Nobody inside. I better hope there's nobody inside. Do you want to push the shelf? You know, Harry has a very good keen eye. There's been 2 situations now where we've had to push a cabinet or something like that of a similar sort to uncover a secret. We're about to do it again. Everyone in Silent Hill likes to cover secrets by putting a cabinet over it or under it, or just to cover it in some sort of way. But Harry is too smart. He's just that smart of a main character. There's a crack. Something glints inside. The crack is too small to reach in. There's a crack in the ground, and there is a key of some sort. We just picked up a magnet, so we could actually get that. Give me that key. You've picked up so many keys in this game. It's insane. I've got a motorcycle key. No, chat, we don't ride motorcycles. Before you say anything, that's not what's gonna... That ain't gonna happen. We can't even ride anywhere. No cars work, no vehicles work. The roads are blocked. It's not like we could escape. We are trapped. All experiencing the same nightmare. The town has trapped us. It's too late. We can't leave. We have to get through this. Is there anything else I could pick up here? No. Okay, never mind. So we have a motorcycle key now. And if we go in here, this is the garage of the motel. So again, we have that idea that, you know, Kaufman may be involved in all of this, you know, and it's very interesting to see that when we were at the Indian Runner, for example, it looked like the owner of the Indian Runner may have been referring to Kaufman, who was, you know, giving the package, aka drugs, probably. And he's a bit scared of Kaufman, which shows that Kaufman sort of has a bit of a scary demeanor to him. He's one of those people that if you pry in too much to his stuff, or if you pry too much into his matters and dealings and stuff like that, you may pay the price of slipping up. Yeah. That should give you a good understanding of what Kaufman is like. Now, obviously, he's been nice to us, you know. He's been nice to us. He's in a nightmare. He's experiencing the nightmare with us. You know, we're obviously not from the town, so we don't know anyone here like Kaufman. But that's about to change, because I don't think he's going to like us going through his motorcycle, because yes, this is his motorcycle. This is Kaufman's motorcycle. And we just got a key for it. An old motorcycle. Looks like it's been sitting here for years. That's weird. The dust is wiped away just around the gas tank cap. Which means that he may have recently have been here. It's a pretty nice bike. I'll give him that. You think? Looks very old though. Again, he probably hasn't used it in some time. You could also, it looks like there's like maybe oil dripping from the top or something. Just stowed away in this garage. But we are gonna pry through his stuff because we have his motorcycle key. I don't think he's gonna like that, chat, but we have to do it. What is his deal? What is Kaufman doing here? We use the motorcycle key. A small glass vial wrapped in a plastic bag. What's this? It's like the busted vial I found in the director's office at the hospital. So that's kind of where you get... I was trying to wait to see where this confirmation comes from, but it's over here at this part. So this is where you get the confirmation as a player that he is the director of the hospital. Because again, in the hospital yesterday when we were exploring, in the director room, which we now know is Dr. Michael Kaufman's, in that room, there was a shattered glass vial with a red liquid, which we actually scooped up and have for ourselves as well. But now we know that this is Kaufman's. But that also means that someone went into Kaufman's office and shattered that vial deliberately. But he has another one in his motorcycle. Uh-oh. Well, there he is.
Give me that.
Yeah, he's
What
pissed.
is this?
That's none of your business. Instead of messing with that, how about coming up with a way to get out of here? You shouldn't be hanging around here goofing off. What do you think you're doing? You want to get yourself killed? Get out of here.
Okay, take it easy.
Unless you want to die, keep your mind on business. Got it?
Oh, he's pissed. Man, was he pissed. In such a rush, too. I guess I wasted my time. Better hurry. I'm worried about Cheryl. Okay. And that's literally it. That's the side story done. So, this section here with the side story that we did is optional. You don't have to do all of this stuff. But doing this now guarantees us to get the good ending. And you'll know why when we get to that point. But yeah, Kaufman is a sus individual, whereby he is possibly involved in the drug trafficking scheme going on in the town. And we now know that that red vial of the red liquid that we found in his room in the hospital yesterday, which we scooped up, is Kaufman's. He has another vial of it though, so he has another full vial that he has. But we also have a little bit of it that we scooped up yesterday. So yeah, Kaufman is sus, guys. He's sus. Did you see how that's the first time he's gotten very angry whenever we've spoken to him in the past 2 previous times we've spoken to him. That reaction can tell you that, yeah, he saw that we found out something that we shouldn't have known. And with that, we are just going to continue as if nothing happened and continue to try and find Cheryl. Because Cheryl is our daughter, and she is just a child in all of this, going through this town while there is nightmarish stuff happening. So this is Lakeside. So this is where Toluca Lake is. So beyond the bottom of this map is where you'd find Toluca Lake, a very big lake that is one of the reasons why people come to the town as a tourist attraction, to enjoy the lake view. It's very cool. It's very beautiful. It seems like he didn't do a good job hiding anything. I mean, to be fair, he did drop his receipt. It is his fault that he dropped his own receipt, which then allowed us to, like, find everything. But also, Harry just has a very keen eye. He's just very smart. In all of this. good lord. Are there any other things I can pick up? I wonder. Oh, this is a separate, like, bit? Okay. Also, this motel looks very similar to the one that they use for Silent Hill 2 and 3. Makes sense, they're in the same town. Oh god. Whew. Right. Let's keep going. Oh! I was trying to look at the diner, man. Come on. Stop. Oh my god. No. Stop it. Stop. Oh my god, I'm being beaten up. Whew. Where am I going? I'm going back. Don't go back! Ooh. Look at him hop, dude. Oh my god. We're just running. Right, let's go this way. Again, look how dark it is. Almost gives a foreboding sense that the nightmare, the other world, is like having such a big influence. As Dahlia says it, the darkness is like overtaking the town.
What's this? Oh. Oh.
Not again. No, this time it feels different. Rather than shifting from reality to a nightmare. This is more like reality becoming a nightmare. I don't like this feeling. Like something bad will happen. No doubt something terrible is going on. So there we go, we're back in the other world. This is how the other world looks like. This is how the nightmare world looks like. Shifting reality into a nightmare. Metal grates, industrial sounds, mechanical stuff. We saw windmills earlier, yesterday, in the other world. Out in the town. Like, literal windmills. You see pipes down there. The enemies also kind of changed too. We're in the other world. A world created from someone's nightmares. Becoming real and manifested into the town thanks to the power of the town itself. And there are so many people who want to kill me. So I am just gonna run. And you know what? Harry is such like an athlete. He does not lose stamina. Stamina does not exist in this game, Chad. You can run forever and he will not get tired. He's a track star. Ah! Oh my god, there are so many of them. Yikes! Zigzag, zigzag. Whenever you're running from monsters or something, remember to run in zigzags. W strat, W strat. Oh god, how much is our... Oh god, my health is low. Floop. I'm gonna use an ampoule. Wait a minute. Yes, we need to go down. Oh! We need to go this way. Again, Cheryl might be at the lake, by the lakeside, so we need to go towards the lake. Ooh! Ooh! Go, 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 go. Go, go, go. In the boats! Okay. Whew. Boat. See, even the boat, the inside of this boat is affected by the other one. Look at this. We've been seeing a lot of corpses in this game that have been, like, hung up. A lot of imagery with, like, bodies just hanged against the wall, or, like, ones that are covered in some sort of, like, special sheets, ritual sheets. Again, there is a cult activity there is cult activity also going on in the town, which we found out yesterday. And that there may be some link between what's happening and the cult. So here's another body just there.
Sybil,
Harry!
There's Sybil.
how did you get back here?
I followed the sewer. Were you the one who cut the fence?
Yeah. I'm glad you made it. I was worried about you.
You were worried? Where did you disappear to? Never mind. I want to know what's going on here. What is with this town?
This may sound really off the wall, but listen to me. You've got to believe me. I haven't gone crazy, and I'm not fooling around. At first, I thought I was losing my mind. But now I know I'm not. It's not me. This whole town. It's being invaded by the other world. By a world of someone's nightmarish delusions come to life. Little by little, the invasion is spreading, trying to swallow up everything in darkness. I think I'm finally beginning to understand what that lady was talking about.
Harry, hold on a minute. I don't get it.
Look, I don't understand it all myself. I guess I can't explain it.
Well, what's making this happen?
I don't know that either. But I do know Cheryl is there.
There?
Under whoever created this darkness. Cheryl is somewhere and she needs my help.
Harry, this whole thing's been a major blow to you. You need to rest.
Sybil,
The demon is awakening, spreading those wings.
Dahlia Gillespie.
The granny with no feet, with no socks or shoes on.
I see.
She's
it
back.
now. Yes, everything. Hungry for sacrifice, the demon will swallow up the land. I knew this day would come. And what's more, the task is almost finished. There's only 2 left. To seal this town to the abyss, the mark of Samael. When it is completed, all is lost. Even in daytime, darkness will cover the sun. The dead will walk, and martyrs will burn in the fires of hell. Everyone will die.
So what am I supposed to do? I've got to save Cheryl.
It is simple. Stop the demon. The demon taking that child's form. Stop it before your daughter becomes a sacrifice. Before it is too late. Stop it! Stop it!
What do I do?
Go to the lighthouse on the lake. And to the center of the amusement park. Make haste. You are the only hope.
Look, Harry. I really don't get what's going on. But if there's a chance we can save your daughter, I'm in. I'll check out the amusement park. You go to the lighthouse.
Sybil, thanks.
You will need to use it.
Use what?
The flowers. Only with that can you stop it.
What about Sybil?
Right, so, again, that's Dahlia Gillespie. She's the one who's, been, taking Harry around places, directing him towards clues, because he believes that she knows where Cheryl is. And as you could tell, she sounds a bit crazy. It's talking about martyrs and the fires of hell and everyone dying and the darkness is... I mean, the darkness is covering the whole town. That is true, but... she sounds crazy. And yes, she has no shoes. She has her grippers out. This whole time. And she wears a tie. I don't know why I had to mention that, but I'm just trying to show you guys that she's interesting. And we also got a lot of stuff from that interaction there in that cutscene. So Harry knows that, yes, this is the other world, this nightmare world that's happening. It is the other world. It is this world that is being, that is shifting reality into a nightmare based upon someone's fears and delusions, manifesting it into the town. Harry has now come to that realization. And then Dahlia just now says there that if you want to save Cheryl, you need to stop the demon taking her form. So there's this girl again that we've been seeing around the town. Sybil saw her, literally, apparently walking on thin air. So whatever's going on, the game is setting us up with the fact and idea that our daughter Cheryl may be possessed by something, and it has changed her, has twisted her into something else, and Dahlia describes it as a demon. The demon that has taken your child's form, you have to stop it. So we are being led to believe that that's what's happening. And that we need to, again, stop the mark of Samael, which is this, seal, this symbol that we have been seeing across town, which we saw for the first time in the Otherworld school. The two circles, and then inside there's a triangle. I showed it yesterday as well, but yeah. So that's what we are being led to believe. And by stopping that demon, we can then save our child and stop the otherworld spreading and end the nightmare, the darkness, and leave, hopefully. So, since we have no other choice on what the hell to know what to do, we just listen to her. She's the only one that's given us directions. So, I guess we'll listen to her. So I need to go to the lighthouse. And I am gonna run. I'm just gonna run. There are so many things that just want me dead. I am just running. Ugh! Like that. I hate those flying things in the Otherworld. Those are the pterodactyls, and they change up in appearance. Ow, it hit me. In appearance when you're in the Otherworld. And their wings remind me of moths, and I don't like that. Oh my god. Oh my god. Romper. Their wings remind me of moths, and I don't like that at all. Oh my god, tank controls. Leave me alone. Our radio is going crazy. Oh, there's the seal. There it is. That's the circle right there. That's the seal that Dahlia is mentioning is bad. This thing. Oh, please, can you reach? Hurry! Come on, stop. You can do this. You know what? Rifle. Shotgun time. I am stupid. I did not equip it. Equip the shotgun. Okay, good. Dead. That is the seal. That is the seal that Dahlia is talking about. Is bad, and we need to stop it. It's over here too, so... I am running through everything, but these seals are like everywhere now. These like weird, almost cult-looking symbols are all over town. Oh my god, you're in the way. Oh my god, there is so much happening. Lighthouse. Lighthouse. We're at the lighthouse. You guys want to see some very interesting camera shots here? Cinematic shots? For a 1999 game? Very cool way they showed this. Us going up the lighthouse. And look at this effect. There she is!
Wait!
That's the girl. The mysterious girl that we've been seeing
it's
around
too
town.
late.
And then look at this. Again, this is a 1999 game. Look at this effect. This dreamy, hazy effect. This is the seal. This is the seal that Dahlia is talking about. It's here. Literally glowing on top of this lighthouse. In this void of the town. I thought for a second you were talking about seals as in animals. No. Not those seals. Those seals are cute. This seal is different. This is a magic seal. A cult-like seal, almost. But you can see how there's like a dreamy effect to it all. Even with how you move the camera and everything. And this audio in the background as well. So did you see that girl? That's the girl that we've been seeing throughout, who apparently is a demon taking the child form of Cheryl. That is what Harry's being told by Dahlia to believe. So close yet so far to getting her, but she disappeared again. Okay, we've done that. We just go back down. Let's go back to the boat. So we went to the lighthouse. Sybil went to Lakeside Amusement Park. That is the amusement park around here. So Sybil has been tasked to go there. So she's doing that. In the meantime, get destroyed. Get destroyed! Get destroyed! Good. Whew. It's raining as well. Oh good, they transport us straight back to the boat. Nice.
Sybil hasn't come back.
I'm sure she's
That
fine.
creep's sure to show up at the amusement park pretty soon. Let me be on time.
Okay, so now we need to go to the amusement park. Damn, we have been taking a lot of hits recently. I remember this happened on my first playthrough of this game, and I had no heals by the end of this game on my first playthrough, and then I couldn't finish the game because my save file was fucked. But hopefully we'll be fine. Everything will be fine. This time. Speaking of save, here's my save. Again, very interesting. I didn't mention this a lot during the playthrough, but the way we save in game is we use a notepad to save in this game. That is what we use to save. Because Harry is a writer. That's his job. He's actually a writer in profession. So we see these notes around town, and in these notes, every time we save, Harry's like writing down in a sort of a diary of events that's happening as we play through. Which is a very cool... I like it when games use saves, something like, you know, you just saving, and they do saves in a way that adds context to maybe lore or the character or what's going on in the story. So I like it when games do that, you know? It shows that everything has a meaning to what you're doing in the game, you know? It's very cool. It's very, very cool. It's not just a, you know, a regular save. You just save like this. You know, you actually save on a meaningful thing. To Harry, it's this notebook. He's making a diary of events. Right. Let's go. Let's go to the amusement park. Nope. Nope. Listen to that audio. Again, because of how the other world is so industrial, we have this like just banging sounds almost. Again, audio design goes crazy in this game. There are some bangers. There are actually some bangers. I'm also a writer, but in the fanfiction sort of way. Oh, I see. But listen to this. This is a 1999 game. And they have bangers like this. So good. The sound design in these games is what makes them so good. Also, no! Dogs! Woo! Chat, the only way to get to the amusement park is we have to go to the sewers again. Could someone have gone to the amusement park from here? We have to go to the sewers again. It's sewer time. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Who was that? Who pushed her like that? Hey, yo. To a police officer, no less. Just doing her job. Helping me trying to find my daughter. Hello? There's a sewer map connecting to an amusement park. Take it. Here's a better image of the seal of the seal that Dahlia's talking about. The mark of Samael that Dahlia calls it. That's how it looks like. Pretty cool design. I don't know what it is, but I like... It does give a cult vibe, doesn't it? With how the mark looks like. But I don't know. Stuff like that always looks very cool to me. Yep, that's the seal. You can see now it's everywhere in the town. We're seeing it everywhere in the other world. And Dahlia says that it's a bad thing. That this seal, this mark is like a curse. It's a bad thing. based upon the demon that is doing all of this. According to Dahlia. Again, all of this stuff that we're being told is Dahlia's telling us this. She's telling us this. And we believe it on a whim. Harry believes it on a whim because he has no other choice. He just wants to find Cheryl and leave. That's it. He doesn't care about anything else apart from finding his daughter. But he's stuck in all of this mess. So he doesn't know who to believe and who to trust. So Dahlia's the only one who's like directing him. Now, who is to say that Dahlia is correct? She could be lying to us right now. We already know that Kaufman is a bad person. He's doing drug stuff. And something sus in the hospital with the basement. Oh god, here comes the lizards. Harry, you missed. Are you serious? I'm gonna leave. Also, can I just say the soundtrack in these sewers goes crazy as we will see as we continue to go forward. Wait, I want to make sure I collect everything. Wait, I want to collect everything. Nothing here. Again, look at these bodies. More body imagery just hanged up. Sort of like statues. They're sort of like just statues at this point. All over the town. Oh my god, these things are chasing me. Wait, am I going? Yeah. Give my health back. Okay. Go, go, go. There's reptiles who want to kill me. Oh. Stop it. Ew. The sewer is filled with monsters. Oh my god. Also, listen to this banger tune. Like, come on. There's no reason for this to be so hard of a tune. Okay, I'm leaving, bye. I'm out. Okay. Nice. No more sewers for us. No more stinky sewers for us. But yeah, I forgot to mention, but of course, we saw Sybil got taken down just now. Through some way, shape, or form. That's not good. That's not good. But also... Okay, it doesn't show it on the map, but we're at the amusement park now. Lakeside Amusement Park. It is, just as the name suggests, an amusement park. Oh yeah, hello! Look, it's the Shadow Children again. Do you see it? Who just trip over and that's all they do. Walking on their small little legs. Hello. Oh, watch your step. Oh. Yep. Okay. Okay. Oh, children. Oh. Stay dead. again, I mentioned this yesterday, but I don't know why, but the way, like, the metal grates here, like, end off, like, they break apart and end off like that. Like, imagine you, like, scrape your leg against that. That would fucking hurt. But that just goes to show as well how, like, sharp-natured and oppressive the other world is. With its industrial look. And just dark void of nothingness. Silent Hill is very good when it comes to dark voids, environments. They do it very well and very creepily. Also, look at all this barbed wire with blood stained on. Chat, when was the last time you went to an amusement park? Has anyone ever not been to an amusement park before? What would you call this ride? Like, I was gonna say teacups, but that's not teacups. I forgot. I'm sure there's a specific name for a ride like that. Well, it's good to see that the amusement park still runs normally in the other world, even though there's probably no one to ride the ride, but hey, that's free. It means it's a free ride. It may be hard to get on, though. A lot of shadow children here. I wonder if that's like a symbolic of just like, you know, this is an amusement park, so there'd be a lot of children here. These things may look very cute, but there is some dark lore associated with these people. I don't fully know it off by heart, so I'm not going to mention it too much, but there's stuff about them. So thank you for the hydrate. Okay, hold on. I've been to a small one before. It was more like a fair than an amusement park, though. Honestly, same. I kind of, yeah. I've been in a situation before, it's like where they have these, like, you know, they have these rides, but it's like in a fair, sort of. You know, there's like food stalls, and then you have like a massive bouncy castle or a ride. Yeah. I would say that's also probably actually the last time I've been to something like that before as well. Yes. But I have personally been to like big theme parks before. I've been to a water park before. That was fun. That's the day I once got my phone wet and then it broke because the water went into it and drenched into the phone. Rip that phone. That is like ages ago. Like, that is such a long time ago, though. I always think about that when I think about amusement parks now. How are we looking? Oh my god. Let's heal. I want to save my ammo on the shotgun, so I'm going to probably change to the gun. Yes. The mumblers from the school, we saw them. They were in the nightmare sequence at the start of the game as well. More shadow children. Hello, child. Could you please stop falling? Stop falling all the time. Oh my god. They fall and then they just disappear. That's it. That's all they do. Here's another one. It's gonna fall, and then it's gonna fall again, and then it's just gonna go. I mean you no harm. And then it's gone. Okay. There was a save over here. What? Wait a minute, I hear another one. What? Let me save quickly. There was a save. Here it is. Oh, wait, no. No, that's not it. Wait, where was it? I was just there. Ah, there we go. Magic. Magic. Okay. Let's save. God, that ice cream. Look at that ice cream. Oh, it's a prop, but it's making me feel hungry for some ice cream. Grr. It's getting close to that time here for me. It is spring. It was actually very. It's been pretty warm here today. So we're getting spring weather again, which I love. I'm a huge summer person. Anyway. So we have to be at the amusement park because of the girl again. Sybil went down. She should be here, but she's not. Something isn't right. Let's take a ride on the merry-go-round instead. To pass the time, I guess. Oh. Oh, hey, it's Sybil. Oh, hey, Sybil. How you doing? Sybil, why are you on a wheelchair? Sybil, are you okay? Oh, chat, look at her eyes. They're red. Something happened to Sybil. And now Sybil wants to kill us. So now... Ooh! Oh my god, how much does that hurt, actually? I remember last time I played this part... Yeah, she hurts. She hurts a lot. It's gonna be below freezing today, and then it'll be almost 80 Fahrenheit out next week. I already missed the winter. Ah, you're a winter person? Wait, what is 80 in Celsius? I don't read Fahrenheit. we I don't what is Fahrenheit? But yeah, Sybil, something's happened to Sybil. She now wants to kill us all of a sudden. I wonder if I could... Yeah, she wants us dead. So there's two things we can do here, chat. And this leads us... Oh, I can't believe this is happening as well. This is a cool little feature during the fight. She can ride the merry-go-round. So she's been infected with something. Something's happened to her. Well, not infected, but something's happened to her. She got knocked down, remember, in the sewers. And now she's attacking us. For some reason. Now, there is two things we can do in this situation. And this will lead us to a specific ending. Based upon what we do in this situation. So I already mentioned, after we did the Kaufman scenario, that led us towards the good ending pathway. But there are two good endings you can get. You can get the regular good ending, or you can get good ending plus. And if I remember correctly, around 26 Celsius. Ah, okay, damn, that is very hard. Jeez, that's a huge shift in temp. But essentially what you can do two things here. And I believe to get the good ending, you fight Sybil. You have to fight Sybil. And the second option is for no other reason than to maybe give her this unknown liquid. So we either shoot her and fight her as she's attacking us, or I'm stuck. Woo! Or we give her this unknown liquid that we picked up, which we now know is Kaufman's red liquid vial thing. That we picked up in his director room. In his room in the hospital. I want to do the good plus ending for this playthrough. So we're not going to fight Sybil. We are going to end this fight very quickly by shoving her in her mouth an unknown liquid. I also lived in Florida for 6 years, so that was enough summer for me. Ah, okay, you've been used to the summer. That is understandable. I get you then. I know I've heard a lot about how, like, near the New York area, you know, of America, there's been a lot of snow. I don't know if the snow is still happening there for those guys, but yeah, weather, life. But yeah, we're gonna give her the unknown liquid, chat, and hope that this doesn't kill her. Come on, we don't want to kill Sybil, guys. Sybil's been there for us. She's... Ow. Okay, she hit us, but... Sybil's been there since the very start for us, chat. She was the one that, you know, put us into the cafe. We found her in the nightmare sequence way at the start of the game. Oh, she's riding the horse again. She's been with us since the start. I don't want to kill her now, after we've gotten this far. Ow. Yes, she's shooting us, but she's not herself. Also, look behind her. You could argue she is... Oh, I died. I died. What? Right, I'm gonna go straight up to her and give her the liquid. Okay, we're gonna give her the liquid and hope that it saves her. Right there. Hey, Sybil, drink this red liquid that I picked up from the ground in the hospital. You'll love it, I assure you and guarantee you. Or just throw it at her. Well done, Harry. Ew, what is that?
Sybil. Wake up. Snap out of it. Sybil.
Harry, what happened?
We saved her, let's go.
Don't talk. I'll take care of you.
Harry, why did they take your daughter? Why her?
I'm not sure myself. But, you know, Cheryl isn't my biological daughter. I actually haven't told her yet. She probably already knows anyway, though. We found her abandoned on the side of the highway. Nobody knew where she came from. We didn't have any kids of our own.
This is giving context to Cheryl,
My
which I
wife
already
was
mentioned
sick,
before at the start. She's
and it
adopted
didn't
by
look
them.
like she was getting any better. So we took Cheryl in.
So in that case...
There might be some connection between Cheryl and this town.
You don't say. You don't say, Harry.
What do you do now?
Cheryl is my daughter. I will save her no matter what.
Honestly, W dad. W dad. Right. This part is very interesting. Because look what's about to happen. She's right there. There she is. Or the demon that's taking her form.
I figured you'd show. Hold it right there.
The meeting we've been waiting for.
I don't know who you are or what you're trying to do, and I don't care. Just one thing. Let Cheryl go. That's all I ask. What? Damn. What is this?
Oh shit! That's the thing that Dahlia gave to us on our first ever encounter with her in this game, in the church. The flower roast.
Where's Cheryl? Give me back my daughter.
We meet at last, Alessa.
Alessa.
Dahlia Gillespie? Where's Cheryl? Where is she?
Alessa. This is the end of your little game.
Not Cheryl. Alessa.
Could she be...
You've been a ghastly little pest, haven't you, Alessa? I was careless, thinking you couldn't escape from our spell. But Mommy didn't know how much you'd grown. That's why I couldn't catch you all by myself. But what a pity, yes? Now you're half indebted to this man for his help.
Hey, what are you talking about?
Alessa, my dear little girl, there is one thing left I need you to do for me.
Oh no, not the ads. Fuck.
Get away from me!
That is a really bad time to have that. I'm so sorry.
Bad girl. Everything is ready. Let's go home now.
What's going on here?
Oh, Lisa. Oh, hello, Lisa. We haven't seen you today yet.
Harry.
So all of that mess happens, and now we meet Lisa,
Lisa,
who we only see in the other world.
what happened? Where's
After
Alyssa
all of that.
and Dahlia?
Harry, listen. Something you said before has been bothering me. I just can't get it out of my head.
What is it, Lisa?
So I went to look in the basement. Even though I was scared as hell.
She went to the basement? The secret basement?
Like you said,
The
there
Alessa
were
room?
creepy rooms.
I'm gonna explain all of this after this cutscene sequence.
But while I was down there, I got this weird feeling. Like I'd been there before. Like something happened there. But I can't quite remember somehow. What was it? Harry, help me. I'm so scared. I can't take this.
Welcome back, Bug.
It's
I'm
only
so sorry about the ads coming out. That sucks.
You're in shock.
L Twitch
You were
ads.
knocked out. Don't fret about it. You'll remember after a while.
No. You don't understand.
What did I miss? I'll explain
Wait.
everything.
Where do you think you're going?
Very much soon. In fact, now. I can do it now. Okay, okay. I don't know which part the ads came from. Damn, what's that? That sound. From down there? It's coming from the basement. Okay, I don't know which part the ad came from. But what happened? Right, let me explain what happened. Right, so we confront Alessa. We confront Alessa, and we get the reveal that that girl that we've been seeing around town, that is Alessa. That is also the same girl that we have seen throughout this game. You know, when we crashed our car at the very beginning, when you know, or her projection. And I'll explain that in more detail later. But after the school, the other world school, we saw her picture in the basement of the hospital. All of that's Alessa. So that girl that we've been seeing around town, where there are the seals as well. So remember in the lighthouse, she was on top of the seal there in that dream effect. That was Alessa. So that is Alessa. That is not Cheryl. That is Alessa. And what has happened is that Dahlia essentially used us. So remember when I said, should we trust Dahlia? She's the only one that's giving us advice to tell us where to go. Well, there we go. Dahlia Gillespie used us. She used us to do her work for her. She made us do her work for her because she wants to trap Alessa. She wants to stop Alessa from what she's doing, which is to escape from something that the cult is planning. So remember, there's this cult that's going around in the town. That shows it there that Dahlia is involved in these cult activities that are going on, and we'll be explaining more about that as we go through. But essentially, Dahlia used us to capture Alessa, and Alessa is Dahlia's daughter, and that's interesting because way back when we first exited the hospital, Lisa told us that Dahlia actually lost her daughter to a fire. She burnt to death, or so that's what everyone thinks happened. But then again, we see Alessa here, you know, in front of us, and Dahlia decides to take her to plan for something. And now we're at the hospital again, or what looks like the hospital room. We just saw Lisa. We woke up to see Lisa again. Again, she's a nurse at the hospital. So Dahlia and Alessa have been captured, and then they're gone somewhere. Meanwhile, we wake up in the hospital, yet we don't have a map of this place. And Lisa just told us now as well that she also went to the basement of the hospital, where the secret stuff was going on. And she says that she may have been there before, so she may have some like memory lapses. And now we are here. Like honestly, there's so much happening. There is so much happening, you know. But long story short, Dahlia Gillespie used us to capture Alessa for her own purposes, which I will explain about as we go through this next area. And just to let you know, we are like 90% done now with this game. We are at the end part. Also, look at this never seen before camera view. Fun fact, in New Game Plus, you actually have the option to view some parts of the game like this. In regular playthroughs, on your first playthrough, you don't have this camera angle unlocked. But in New Game Plus and further playthroughs, on a save file, you can actually use this first-person view camera angle, which is very interesting, I would say. A first-person PS1 style camera view. Also, I said we were at the hospital, but this does not look like the hospital, does it? Otherworld. Everything is just going crazy. This nightmare world is now just going crazy. It's getting disordered, it's getting disorganized, it's a bit chaotic.
I'm being summoned. What happened in this town? What could be making things like this? I have a feeling if I take the elevator down, I'll find it.
I like how he says he's being summoned. He says he's being summoned by the other world. Well, it looks like we're back in the hospital, but we don't have a map of this place. But we've already been to the hospital, so we should have a map of this place. Everyone, welcome to nowhere. Hold on. Oh, nurses. I forgot, once you go into a room, all these nurses pop up. Wait, I should use my axe. Everyone, welcome to nowhere. I'm not kidding. That is literally what this place is called. This place is called Nowhere. No, this is not the hospital. This is Nowhere. So, again, for those of you who don't know, this like hallway you see here, this is what it looks like in the hospital area. However, let's go through this door. Oh? This is a completely different place. This is the antique store, which is way further away from the hospital. Nowhere. This place is literally just called Nowhere. So what's essentially happening is the other world is now like this nightmare world is starting to make even much less sense than it already did. And now places and stuff and events have become disorganized and chaotic, which is why this may look like the hospital. This is how this is what we find in the hospital. This hospital looks like this in the other world. But then we go into this room. This should be a hospital room. I believe this should be this is where the kitchen of the hospital would be if we went through that door. But instead, we are in the antique store, which is literally like so far away from the hospital. And later on, we're going to find out that we'll be in a classroom as well. Which shouldn't make any sense because that's not the hospital. Again, what's happening now is that the other world is making no sense. It's now just putting random rooms into certain places. It's going to put things that shouldn't be here in certain places. There's a key in the faucet, but I can't get it out no matter how much I pull. Damn, that key is rusted inside. No worries, Ember. Have a nice rest. Thank you for coming by to the stream. Thank you, thank you. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Also, it's locked. The word Phaleg is carved on the door. So, previously in the game, there was a sequence where we were in like the town center of Silent Hill, and there was like these TV screens. And at one point they start glitching out and they show Cheryl and Alessa. And they also then show these symbols. So one of those symbols is here, Phaleg. These symbols are apparently like Olympian spirits. So we have Phaleg. I'm not very knowledgeable on that stuff. We have a Phaleg door. There's another one here. The word Ophiel is carved on the door. Ophiel is locked. The word Haggith is carved on the door. Ophiel, Phaleg, Haggith. So these symbols were shown and foreshadowed earlier in the game. So we now need to try and get through this place and just do something. Again, we want to find Cheryl. Cheryl is tied up in all of this. And Harry is just at this point where he just has to go through with it, uncover secrets to try and just find out where the hell Cheryl is. The answer to finding the truth behind it all is in this area. As he said it himself, he's being summoned. Right. So we have this clock here. Old clock. There's a square hole in the center of the clock. The hands of the clock. It's a key. So one of the hands is a key that we need. I can't get to it because of the glass cover. So we need a key. I love how creepy this place is. A lot of people say, a lot of Silent Hill players who play this game, I've heard a lot of people say that nowhere for them is also one of the creepiest places for them, with just how it is, with its design, with how everything is like all over the place, rooms being present that shouldn't exist. That is locked. There was a birdcage earlier too that we need to interact with. So some stuff that we have to interact with. Also, here's another example of stuff not making sense. This is supposed to be the basement of the hospital. Instead, this is the classroom from Midwich Elementary. Again, just randomly placed here. Reality is not making any sense. And in the center of this classroom, we have this one desk. Go home. Thief. Drop dead. Written on the table. There's a lot to unpack. And this is kind of at the stage where I can now start talking about, like, a lot more deep stuff about what is going on and what's truly happening behind the scenes. So, again, we saw earlier from the cutscene before that Dahlia is the mother of Alessa. So Dahlia Gillespie, Alessa Gillespie. Alessa is a girl who has certain psychic powers and abilities. As you saw, when we tried to confront Alessa, she, you know, pushed us away from the distance, and she could make a barrier to separate us from her, And she also disappears, phases through reality and stuff like that. So Alessa is a different girl compared to everyone else. She has these sort of psychic abilities and stuff. And people know about that. That's why she was bullied. She would be called a witch. She would be bullied a lot in school. So she went to Midwich Elementary. That's one of the first areas that we go through in this game. So she was bullied, and we get that signified by this one desk. This is her desk. This is her school desk. People would come to her desk and write this stuff to her every time she sat down. Because they know that, you know, or I think it's not confirmed if they knew, but there's like hints that people like knew that she, you know, had these powers, and so people would call her a witch, not interact with her too much, or maybe even bully her because of how she is. Just classic bullying, which obviously is like horrible stuff, especially for a young child. Alessa has, as I will explain soon, a very effed up life as a young kid. Made worse by the fact that her mother, Dahlia Gillespie, runs the cult of Silent Hill. So, in Silent Hill, there is a cult known by the Order. That is the name of the cult that runs in Silent Hill. And Dahlia Gillespie runs that cult. Her mother is the head of that cult. And the cult believes in a god. As, you know, many cults/religions do, obviously, right? So this cult, known as the Order, originates in Silent Hill. And they believe in a god that will one day bring down and usher in a paradise and yada yada, all stuff like that. And the cult decides to do a certain thing. So they know that Alessa, who is the daughter of Dahlia Gillespie, who is the head of the cult, Dahlia knows, the cult knows, that Alessa has some sort of psychic abilities, has some psychic powers. And what Dahlia decides to do one day is try to usher in this god that the cult believes in by performing a ritual on Alessa. And so what they do, they decide to do a ritual on Alessa which involves burning her alive. And so they did that. And just to make things even more effed up, to make it more prevalent to you guys that it is very effed up, so they did this to her. They did a ritual on her to try and force the birth of God inside Alessa. And this happened to her, to Alessa, when she was 7 years old. A 7-year-old kid. So at the age of 7, they decided to do a ritual on Alessa to try and force her to birth a god. Why? Probably because they thought she had psychic powers, and that was their basis to think that maybe she, you know what, maybe she has a god inside her. Let's force it out from her. And so they do that. They do a ritual on her. Now, what's through this door, by the way? Ah, okay, this place. Also, we can get some stuff here. Screwdriver and pliers. We'll need that. So yeah, they do a ritual on her. Now, there are two theories which have never been explained by the devs, I believe, for this game, as to what is true and what isn't true. But there are two scenarios that happened during that ritual that people for a long time have debated as to what is true and what is factual and what is canon. One theory suggests that during the ritual that they did to Alessa to try and birth a god from her, one of the theories is that the ritual sort of worked and it burned Alessa alive, and then things happened through there. Remember, I did mention earlier that we learnt from Lisa after the hospital, or sometime after the hospital, that Dahlia was a bit crazy because she lost her daughter to a fire. And with that, we now know that it was kind of deliberate, and that she died from a fire because of the ritual that they were doing to try and force a god of the cult out of a 7-year-old girl. So there's that theory, that she got burned alive. And then there's another theory that Alessa, by accident, because of the stress of the ritual... So this ritual that was going on in that Dahlia was trying to do to Alessa, this happened at their home, by the way. So they did this at the Gillespie home. And one of the theories is that during the ritual, because of the stress that Alessa would have had, because imagine a 7-year-old girl, Chad. Like, just imagine that. A 7-year-old girl being forced out of her own will to be involved in a ritual that involves being burned, or some way, shape, or form, to birth a god out of you, or to be, in what many people say, almost impregnated with a god. It's very fucked up. This is what I meant when I said earlier that this game is fucked up. That's why it's a big game in the horror franchise. It's like a big, like, huge game when it comes to the lore of this game, as to why it's dark. Is that that's what they were trying to do to her, to a 7-year-old girl. And because of that ritual, one of the theories is that from the heightened stress of that ritual... Now remember, Alessa has psychic abilities, so through that stress that she would have, she would, by accidentally, cause the boiler in their home to explode, and just explode the Gillespie home and turn it, and just put it on fire after the explosion. And that's how she gets burned. In both cases, Alessa gets burnt. She gets burnt alive in the ritual at the age of 7. So all that stuff happens. But it doesn't end there. Because even after being burned so much, she was still alive. She lived through that burning. And so what they did, she had to be taken to a very secret place where they would quote-unquote care for her. Although soon we'll know that that isn't truly the case. And I want you guys to remember when I mentioned the secret bedroom in the basement, secret basement of the hospital. Because remember, there's a picture of Alessa there, right? Also, we got the key of Ophiel, so we can go through one of these doors now. But in both situations, she got burnt alive at the age of 7. And during that time... Oh, should I say this out or should I wait for it later? you know what, I'll wait for it later. I think I'll wait for it till we get to a certain point to which I'll then explain. But yeah, that's sort of the basis of what's going on now. That's sort of the overarching information and basis for what's been happening, is that Dahlia, head of the cult, wants a god to be birthed from Alessa. And so they perform a ritual on her at the age of 7, and the ritual fails, and Alessa gets burnt alive, but still survives. She doesn't die, she survives it. And that's all I'm going to say for now, before we get to the next part. But yeah, very effed up. Very, very dark effed up. And again, this is part of the history of Silent Hill as a town. You know, the cult has existed in the town for a very long time. And they believe in this god that will usher in a paradise and stuff. And so Dahlia wanted to force that to happen by causing this ritual on her daughter to bring out the god. And it fails. Now you may have questions, such as, okay, why did Alessa have these psychic powers? Why her specifically? Did she have it from birth? What's the deal with that? And so you could argue that, again, as I mentioned before, and I actually mentioned this when I was playing Silent Hill 2, because they mention it in Silent Hill 2 a little bit. There's something you can read in Silent Hill 2, which explains that the town of Silent Hill itself is sort of unique and special. Yes, it's usually normally a tourist attraction town. People come by to this town because of the tourists and because to have a vacation and stuff like that. But Silent Hill in and of itself is a special sort of town. There is some sort of like there's sort of like some special spiritual presence and power that Silent Hill is known for. And so you could argue that Alessa somehow gained the power of Silent Hill by living here, based upon all of the stuff that she had to go through in her life, the bullying and stuff like that. And because of the trauma and like the madness that you would get from having to live a life like that, those feelings and emotions would give birth to Silent Hill, giving Alessa these psychic abilities and powers. And stuff like this happens. And so you could also then assume then and argue that this other world that we've been seeing, you know, a world, as Harry mentioned earlier, the other world, a world where someone's nightmarish delusions come to life, you can now assume that this other world that we're seeing, this is being projected from Alessa's mind. This is Alessa's mind. You could technically say that we are in Alessa's mind at the moment. This is her nightmare that she's experiencing, and that we have experienced throughout the town. Whether it be the environments, the otherworld environments and locations, even the monsters. As I said, everything that we see in this game has a reason, and that involves the monsters. Remember, this is a psychological horror game. And when it comes to psychological horror games, you kind of have to have like a relevance as to why certain things exist, and that involves also the monsters that we've been seeing throughout the game. They're also part of Alessa's nightmares, being, you know, projected into the town of Silent Hill, aided by the powers of Silent Hill. That's sort of like how the other world works. But yeah. Shit is going down. Dark stuff is happening. And now, after knowing all of this stuff, we now know that Dahlia has gotten a hold of a lesser, quote-unquote, a lesser again, to probably, you know, work on getting that god born. Also, puzzle room. On my first playthrough of this game, by the way, chat, I was so lost in nowhere. Like, literally. This place was full of puzzles that I didn't know how to do. So, I remember back in October when I played this for the first time. FYI, I've been a huge Silent Hill fan for a very long time, but I've only in the past been like a viewer. Like, I've seen stuff related to these games, and that's what made me a fan into them. But I've never actually played them until very recently. And so, when I got to this place, I was so lost when it comes to the puzzles. But after looking back on it, I can surely tell you that I was just very dumb when I was playing that time. So, yeah. Yeah. But don't worry, this time we will breeze through this because I know what to do. So, what do we have here? Okay, we have some weighing scales almost, with the 2 below it. Two things with the weighing scale. We have 2 fishes. This is Pisces. This is a star sign. Is it not? I believe this is Aquarius? Or is this Pisces? Wait, which one? I'm a Pisces. I should know this. Anyway, that's a star sign. These are star signs, I believe. So that's that. I don't know what this weighing scale one is. Oh, I think that one's Libra. That one's Libra, I think. We have this thing. Is this Taurus? The bull? 4. We have a crab. Which one is crab? Guys, I'm not very knowledgeable when it comes to star signs. What is a crab? Is that Capricorn? Cancer? I don't fully remember. But we have a crab. And then we have this contraption. Another bull. A centaur. And then 2 people here. 2 individuals. And we have this, like, stone in the middle. This like square tablet almost that we need to get. So here's what we do in this puzzle. Again, wait. Is this Aquarius? I think this is Aquarius. I think Pisces is different. I think so. But here's what we do in this puzzle. And what the way this puzzle works is that they have these things separate. These aren't related to like solving the puzzle. They give you clues to how to solve it. So in a way, yeah, I guess it is like it does help you solve it, but you don't have to like interact with these like directly. Like you don't have to like move them or anything. They're giving you clues. So the clue to solving this puzzle is that it's based upon limbs. So as we mentioned, there's like 2 of the like stuff here, so that's why there's a 2. The bull is 4 because it has 4 limbs, the legs, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the crab is 10 because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The legs and the 2 arms of the crab, making 10. So to solve this puzzle, it's based upon counting how many limbs there are. So this one should be 4. I pressed 5 by accident. This one should be 4, because of the 4 legs. I don't think the tail counts. If it's wrong, then that means the tail counts in that one. This one, we have 6, because we have 4 of the legs, and then 2 arms. So this one will be 6. Also, listen to this creepy audio as well. Ugh. While you're trying to solve this puzzle. And then this one should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one should be 8. Boom. Boom. What did we get? There is a stone of time. Take it. By the clock tower, there is a stone, like, square indentation that we can interact with. So most likely that's what we're going to put in there. So we can use that on the clock. So let's go back. Oh, there's enemies! Yeah, come on. Come on. The hammer is so good against the nurses, I would say. And it's also, like, long, so you kind of have a range to it. So you can kind of reach them from far. Haha. Yes. Names engraved on a lithograph. The Grim Reaper's list. Yes, the head count is set. Young and old lined up in order of age. Then, the pathway opens, awaiting them, the frenzied uproar, the feast of death. Again, ominous puzzle riddle writing. That is related to this puzzle. So we have a sort of keyboard here, and then we have this. The Grim Reaper's list. Lydia Finley, Trevor F. White, Albert Lords, Roberta T. Morgan, Edward C. Briggs. So we have some names here. I'm actually not going to do this puzzle yet. I'm going to go back to... Oh! Oh, you still hit me? Stay dead, please. Also, did I check the other bathroom stall? No, the door's jammed. Okay. Wait. Wait a minute. Did I go through this door? No, that's jammed. Okay. Also, throughout this whole area too, because we're in nowhere, because we're in a space that doesn't make any sense, we don't have a map of this place. We are mapless. We are mapless. Right. Let's put that stone tablet on the clock. Shall we? On the clock in the antique room that shouldn't exist in this space, but it does because we're in nowhere. Large stone with clock face design on pillar with astrology chart hanging from it. Let's put it in. Not gonna lie, if you were Harry there, just standing by that clock, and it just explodes like that, yeah, that'd be a terrifying jump scare. Key of Haggith. Okay, so we now have the Key of Haggith, guys. We can explore more of nowhere in this place. Again, these doors named after apparently Olympian spirits, I've heard. I have no idea what that is. Olympic spirits reminds me of Greek mythology, so maybe it's something related to that? Maybe? 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 I don't know. I used to be so into Greek mythology when I was young, actually, now that I think about it. Right, let's do this puzzle now. We're gonna do this puzzle now. So, this is all part of the puzzle. We have the Grim Reaper's list, which had those names and ages on. And then we have this slate here explaining what we have to do with that. So, the head count is set, young and old lined up in order of age. So we go from young to old. Youngest to oldest. So those names had ages next to them that we have to organize. And what essentially happens is we have to use that to then type in the code here on this keyboard to enter this door because it is locked. And how to do that, let's go here. So, who's the youngest? It is Albert. So, A is the first letter. Second youngest is Lydia. So, L, A-L. Then it's Edwards. E. Roberta. R. Trevor. T. And if you organize that in terms of ages, that spells out alert. And that is the answer. Alert! Alert. Again, I'm very interested how they're going to do the remake puzzle. How the remake for this game is going to do the puzzles. Will they keep them? Will they change them? In Silent Hill 2, they changed them. Again, just as a reminder, if you guys didn't know, Silent Hill 1 is being remade. It is not going to look like this. This PS1 styled game is going to get a remake in high definition graphics. How is it going to be like? I have no idea. Anyway, we can now go through this door. Look at the name of these boxes. Psychic TV. That says Psychic TV. And remember, we know about the drug trafficking going on here, where they're dealing with a drug called PTV. And this is basically what this is, I believe. Is that these are boxes of PTV, or Psychic TV. Which also, by the way, I've heard that this is a reference. This is actually a reference to a real life band name, Psychic TV, or a band cover called Psychic TV. That's a real life name for a band cover or something. So that's another real life reference. But yeah, PTV, again, the drugs that are happening there. So we know now that Kaufman, the director of the hospital, was involved in the drug trafficking that was going on in Silent Hill. He may have been the mastermind behind it. Which, by the way, is nuts, because you're the hospital director and you're doing all this stuff behind everyone's back. So, Michael Kaufman, what he was doing is that he was distributing drugs around the town, and his base of operations, in a way, was the hospital. You could maybe, I don't think it's confirmed, but you could maybe assume then that maybe he was also maybe manufacturing it here in the town, in the hospital, since we have all these boxes of Psychic TV, aka PTV. And he would distribute these to a lot of people, to dealers. You know the classic, typical drug trader people. Guys, don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. But he was doing all that stuff. And it gets even worse with the fact that you could also assume that maybe he drugged the employees at the hospital. So the nurses, which is why you could argue when you see the nurse enemies in this game, in the hospital when we first saw them, they looked like they were like fighting against their own will, like being puppeteered by the creature behind them. You could argue that that symbolizes how Michael Kaufman, the head director of the hospital, was forcing, you know, people, for example, like if there were nurses or doctors who knew about what Kaufman was doing, that they had to stay silent, that they had to keep their mouth shut, being forced to stay silent or to do his bidding, almost being like puppeteered to do what to do. And that's kind of symbolized in how the nurse monsters in this game behave, where they're being puppeteered by this like creature on their back, like they've been infected like a zombie. And so you can see there how the symbolism goes. Again, Silent Hill goes crazy when it comes to symbolism, especially when it comes to monster designs. And that is basically what we see with the nurse monsters. They're being puppeteered. It shows how Kaufman is puppeteering all of this when it comes to the drug trading and stuff. Now you may also be wondering, okay, does this link with the cult in any way? And the answer to that question is yes. How it connects is something we will get to when we get to it. But Kaufman is a shady guy. And again, it also relates to that secret room down in the basement of the hospital where we saw the picture of Alessa, the bed. You could argue, is that Alessa's bedroom? And if so, why? Again, we'll get to that soon when we need to. But all in good time. But yeah. Also, there is an amulet of Solomon. Will you take it? Yes. So, especially recently now, as I've explained things, you may have now noticed that there is a lot of now cult/religious imagery in this game. And that's one of the key themes as well, is religion in this one, sort of. Again, with the cult's belief of birthing their god by doing this ritual to Alessa to force her to birth a god, or impregnate her, as I've heard many people say, her with a god, which is, again, very effed up, because this happened to her when she was 7 years old. 7 years old. Guys, that is truly, truly just effed up. But we've seen a lot of religious imagery in this game. You could even argue that maybe these like Haggith, Ophiel, all that stuff kind of relates to that idea of like cult activities and whatnot. Also, I'm gonna heal up. I did not notice I was in orange. But now we've picked up this item. Amulet of Solomon. The amulet is a star-shaped object with 6 corners, named after the ancient magician. So we just randomly have that now. By the way, this room here, this is the basement room of the hospital. So again, all these rooms are just randomly put into places. It's disorganized because of Alessa's nightmare. The other world is going crazy. It's being chaotic. We're in sort of a chaotic space at the moment. So yeah. Now, we mentioned about how Michael Kaufman was like sort of you know, puppeteering all of this stuff in the hospital and doing all this drug cartel work and stuff like that. So that's why when we read the note about how Norman, I think it was, or one of the people from the motel, or from Indian Runner, yeah, from Indian Runner, one of the owners there, or one of the notes there, or diary entry said that, you know, I don't want to be involved in this business. It feels shady. I feel disturbed working with him, or something like that. So a lot of people were afraid of Kaufman. So you could also argue that Kaufman was the one involved in, you know, silencing the narcotics officer, killing them, Officer Gucci, and then trying to have that covered up by the coroner that, oh, it was not murder, it was just through natural causes. So Michael Kaufman is a bad person. He's a bad guy. And which means he most likely did not treat the workers at the hospital very well either. Which then begs the question, how was Lisa treated? Lisa worked at the hospital. And she even mentions recently that in our last interaction with her that she feels like she's actually been in that basement, that secret basement before, in that special room. Some sort of memory loss going on. But here's another thing to remember, chat. Out of all of the characters that we have seen in this game, we always see Lisa in the other world, in the nightmare world. We have never seen Lisa in the fog world, in the fog town, in reality almost, sort of. We don't see her there. Every time we see her, it's either through a dream or through the other world. Which makes you wonder what's going on with Lisa. Well, we're about to find out. And it's not anything good.
Harry,
Lisa, what's the matter with you?
I get it now. Why I'm still alive even though everyone else is dead. I'm not the only one who's still walking around. I'm the same as them. I just hadn't noticed it before.
Lisa.
She says she's like the other nurses.
Me, Harry. Please.
The monsters.
I'm so scared. Help me. Save me from them. Please. Harry.
She's one of the monsters, chat. She just has more sort of sentience to it all. But yeah. And then we have this moment. God, look at the blood dripping from her. So messed up. And sad. So she is one of those nurse monsters outside that we've been seeing throughout the hospital and stuff like that. She's one of the monsters. That's why we see her in the other world, chat. That's why we see her in the other world, just like the other nurse monsters in this game. She's one of them. She was one of them this whole time, she just didn't know it and realized it. There's your explanation for that. Her story is also very unfortunate and unlucky and tragic, as we can read here from her diary. So, this is her diary. Ask doctor to let me quit being in charge of that patient. It's too weird. Still alive, but with wounds that won't heal. Told the doctor I quit. Won't work at that hospital anymore. The room is filled with insects. Even with doors and windows shut, they get in to spite me. To the hospital. Feeling bad, need to throw up, but nothing comes out. Vomiting only bile. Blood and pus flow from the bathroom faucet. I try to stop it, but it won't turn off. Need drug. Help me. So, Lisa was puppeteered by Kaufman into taking those drugs. So she mentions that she needs the drug. So she unfortunately was someone that Kaufman targeted to have the drug. And you could see there that she was talking about a patient. You know, she's describing Alessa, chat. She took care of Alessa. And this is in reference to the fact that after Alessa got burned, they decided to put Alessa in the hospital. And Lisa was tasked to take care of Alessa. And she's describing how Alessa, you know, even after being burned so much with so many wounds, this and that she was still alive, still breathing, still alive in some way, shape or form. No, she still was technically alive with the pulse and stuff. And this is her describing how there was insects in her room, so Alessa would bring in insects, like insects would just be there in her room, around the room where she was staying. And as that was going on, stuff started to happen to Lisa. She's starting to see things, stuff like that. And then she says she needs the dose. So she was essentially just an unfortunate person in all of this. And she's actually dead by the time we arrive in Silent Hill. So essentially what happened was, again, this is Alessa's nightmare, right? This is Alessa's other world. So it's her manifestations. So Lisa, that we've seen in the game, is a manifestation. She's not real. And so Alessa manifested her. Which makes you wonder, is Lisa, was she real? Was she ever real? And yes, she was real. But by the time of the game of the events, she's actually dead. She was not alive. She's been dead for a long time. Or close to around about the events that the game would begin. We don't know how Lisa died. But she died. A lot of people suggest that, again, because of that last sentence there with how she needed the drug, that possibly, you know, Kaufman overdosed her with PTV, which is fucking messed up. Overdosing situations like that, they are real. That is a dark, concept and theme to understand, and that is the most plausible theory as to what happened with Lisa, is that she died through that way, because she didn't want to stay at the hospital, but Kaufman forced her to stay at the hospital by drugging her. Which, yeah, very messed up. Very messed up, very unfortunate backstory when it comes to Lisa, unfortunately. So that is the truth. That is the truth with Lisa. She was never real. Well, she was real, but she died by the time we arrived at Silent Hill. And whenever we saw Lisa, that was a manifestation of her. It's not the real Lisa. The real Lisa died some time ago. She is one of the manifestations in Alessa's nightmare. And that's why we see her in the other world, and only in the other world. That's why when Harry, you know, offered to let Lisa come with him outside of the hospital, she couldn't leave. Because she was chained to this place. Because she's a manifestation. She's not real. So, again, near the end part of the game here, as expected, a lot of stuff gets revealed. And it's very dark. It's very dark. You know, we've already mentioned about what happened with Alessa being burned alive at the age of 7 as part of a ritual to summon a god. She stays alive through all of those wounds and burns, being burned alive. She still survives and manages to stay alive. And so the hospital decides to take care of her. And that is where Kaufman gets involved in all of this. And we're gonna go to her bedroom soon enough. In fact, we've already been to it. It is that room in the basement which had her picture. Also, we have the key of Haggith. I believe that is the door to what would have led us to the elevator, but it won't. Instead, it's just another hallway. Oh no, it is actually the elevator, okay. Just like in the hospital. But yeah, so I think it's best to sort of expand upon that now here, is that yes, after Alessa got burned alive at the age of 7, she was taken to Alchemilla Hospital, and Kaufman decided to keep her in Alchemilla, in the secret basement of the hospital. That is why, when we went to that room with the bed in Alchemilla the first time in the other world, that was her room. That's why we saw the picture of Alessa. That was Alessa's room. That's where she was being kept. And that is where Lisa was taking care of Alessa in that time. It was in that secluded room deep below the hospital, in that bedroom. Also, we can now go to different floors. So we can go to the second floor. Let's go to the second one. Again, oppressive soundtrack. And that should now like paint a more of a sad picture on these nurse enemies now. Now that we know what they truly are. They represent being forced to stay silent with Kaufman's dealings, being puppeted to stay, keep their mouths shut. It makes you feel bad when you have to kill them now. Because that's literally what Lisa is. She's one of these things. She is one of those things. Another room that doesn't make any sense. Chat, this is the jewelry shop. This is the jewelry shop. This is the room before we fight the tentacle, not the tentacle monster, the centipede that turns into the moth. This is from the town center. Again, the other world is not making any sense. It is distorting reality in a way that is chaotic. Rooms are just randomly placed around. And this is another instance of that. Also, listen to this audio. Oh. Crest of Mercury. Okay, so we got two things. We got a ring of contract. Rustic, I've never heard of that word before. Hefty looking ring of unknown material. And we got a crest of Mercury. Snake in the symbol of Mercury signifies alchemy. Alchemy. Not surprising that we see alchemy references there. I believe, I would say that when it comes to like cults, I feel like alchemy is sort of a thing that is associated with cult activities. Not fully, but like, you could argue that cults use alchemy sometimes in their symbolism and their rituals and stuff. Oh, you can't get me. No, I'm going to spare this nurse. I'm going to spare this nurse. I won't kill you. Also, what did we get? So we have a ring of credit. We still have the screwdriver, which we will use at some point. Okay, I'm gonna have to kill you. So again, most of this area of nowhere, like the hallways, are kind of like the hospital in the other world. But when we get into certain rooms, that's when we know that's where we see that they're different rooms that shouldn't be in certain places. Unlocked. That connects us here. Okay, good. Nowhere can definitely be like a very confusing area, especially since you don't have a map, and then it like just the way it is as a condensed, unreal location birthed from someone's nightmare. Again, this is all in Alessa's nightmare. We're part of Alessa's nightmare here. This is her nightmare. Her subconscious mind is causing all of this. Also, oh my god, these guys are tag teaming. Damn. Lock is jammed. Oh well, this room is from the hospital. This is the... I don't know which floor this is in. Something tells me this is in the second floor, question mark? Or third? Maybe third. Well, we can use a screwdriver here. They foreshadowed this, because in the normal hospital, we could actually interact with this, but we couldn't do anything with it. So we use the screwdriver. There is a key. Electricity is flowing to the key. I'll get shocked if I grab it now. So there's another key, but it is not available to us right now. Unless we want to electrocute ourselves, which I don't think is a good idea. Trust me, I have been electrocuted before. It stings. It hurts. I don't want to do that. But when you start to realize at this point with how, like, scary, or not scary, but like, well, yeah, it's scary, isn't it, with the events that has happened. And when you understand more of the lore now, at this point in the game, with things being explained to you, it really does paint a dark picture in the whole of this situation, right? When it comes to, you know, the stuff that happened with Alessa, you know, the stuff that happened with Lisa. I would say that those two are by far, Alessa and Lisa, two very unfortunate characters in all of this when it comes to the events of this game. Very, very, very unfortunate. And messed up. It's just bad. Hold on a minute. Oh, my mouse on my laptop is so bad. Oh, please. Okay, there we go. Right. Okay. Also, we picked up a camera. Camera? Wait, did I not pick up the camera? I did not pick it up. Okay. I thought I did. There's a camera. Just a casual camera. Camera with flash. We'll be using that camera at some point. See, now I'm starting to remember and forget. Did I check all these other rooms? This is the one with the... Yeah, that's the room with the electricity. Okay. That's the room with the electricity. This one's locked. This is locked. This is locked. And this connects us to here. Okay. Anything else I have? No. Okay. Right. Let's go to the third floor, since we've now mostly explored the second one. Let's go to the third. Let's see what's on the third floor. No fourth floor this time. It wouldn't even matter. This whole place is literally not in reality. This is all not even real. Oh, do you see that? Did you see that, chat? That was the altar, which we saw, by the way, in the antique store. Very similar looking. But also, just below there, we saw Alessa. A vision of Alessa just now. Just there, praying at the altar. And then we heard this audio again. This place is creepy when it comes to the audio design. They make it terrifying. Yeah, this place is definitely creepy. The light to the future. And also with like the imagery that you see in this place and just the stuff here. Like it's very eerie and disturbing, isn't it? The light illuminating the darkness. So, we have those pictures. We have this altar. Looks like an altar. Wonder what they worship. So again, this is signifying like the cult again. And you saw Alessa worshipping there. So Alessa, you would imagine, right, that Alessa, since she is the daughter of Dahlia, who is the head of the cult at the time, would most likely also be indoctrinated into this like religion, right? So she would have been indoctrinated into the religion of the cult. Not knowing that it's a cult, but that it's sort of a, you know, just a religion of some sort, right? Even that's what Lisa called it when she first mentioned it to us, that it's a queer religion of some sort. So in a way, Alessa was like indoctrinated to believe in a god. Just she wouldn't have realized that she would be forced herself to birth it. But to birth a quote-unquote god. So another thing here too, so we have this puzzle. We have these things that we can press. And they change up and do stuff like that. And you may be wondering, how the hell do we do that? That's also on this door and on the other one as well. So how do we find out what the pattern is? So we use the camera. Flashbang. The light to the future. So we see those symbols there on the picture? We put that on the three like slates on the door on this side, and we'll do that for the other side as well. So for this one we have flipped L, an arrow going down to the left, and a upside down triangle. So let's do that. In my first playthrough of this game, I was completely lost what to do here. I used the guide. But looking back on it, I was very dumb. I also didn't even have the item I needed to get through here. I somehow never picked it up. What was this one again? Oh yeah. Again, this like audio is like so disturbing, man. It sort of sounds like a kettle, doesn't it? Like those old styled kettles. Oh, we have a key. There is a birdcage key. Why, thank you. So that's the birdcage down below that we can now open. I actually forgot about that. But there is a birdcage we can interact with. So we have that. And then on this side... Again, the kettle noise is coming back. Where is my camera? There it is. Flashbang. Cross. An archway looking thing and a triangle. Another triangle. And then the archway. Boom. Open. Ah, this is the director's room. This is the director's room from the Otherworld. This is Michael Kaufman's room in the Otherworld form. There's also this book here that we could read. There's a place mark in the book. White Claudia. We've seen this name before because back at the police station they mentioned this plant in relation to the drug trafficking that was going on. So essentially the drug PTV is made from this plant, which is peculiar to this region, which means that it is only grown on the lakes of Toluca Lake, which is the massive lake in Silent Hill. So it only grows in Silent Hill. So this is White Claudia. Perennial herb found near water, reaches height of 10 to 15 inches. Oblong leaves, white blossoms. Seeds contain hallucinogen. So it's a hallucinogen. It causes like hallucinations. You could argue that's what the PTV drug would also do. It does that same effect. Ancient records show it was used for religious ceremonies. The hallucinogenic effect was key. So there's your link that why Kaufman was involved in this. Because the cult uses White Claudia. And who else was using White Claudia? Well, it was Kaufman to make PTV drugs. This is a very interesting thing because in Silent Hill F, there is now a lot of... When that game came out, obviously, but when there was a lot more people playing New Game Plus of Silent Hill F, a lot of people theorized that the link that Silent Hill F has to, including me, the link that Silent Hill F has to the mainline like Silent Hill games is White Claudia. Because in Silent Hill F, there is a lake that you can go to which has a peculiar, specific, special type of white plant in the place where Silent Hill F takes place in Japan. And it led to a lot of people suggesting and theorizing that this plant, White Claudia from Silent Hill, may have been like taken to Japan, which is where Silent Hill F takes place, and it was then grown there, or a sort of like biological cousin to White Claudia was being grown there. That's a theory I've sort of believed in because I want some sort of connection to the mainline Silent Hill games, in a way. It is like a loose key, like reference and connection, but it's there, and it gives you room for thought. But yeah, so ancient records show it was used for religious ceremony, so the cult would use White Claudia. So there's your link there with the cult again, which is why most likely, Kaufman and Dahlia teamed up, is because, Kaufman would keep Alessa in the hospital to be taken care of. Meanwhile, you know, the cult would be one of their biggest, like, purchasers. Like, what do you call it? Like, the cult would be, like, their biggest customer when it came to getting White Claudia or PTV from Kaufman. So, yeah, crazy business deal with a cult leader. Silent Hill lore goes hard. This town is... I'm sure you now realize, chat, that this town is crazy. The stuff that happens and that has happened in this game and in the history of the town, it's insane. But yeah, that's also an optional room, really. But we can now go and get another key for the birdcage on the first floor. You could hear a bird flapping in it, but there's no bird inside, which is very interesting and ominous. Again, sort of added for like sound design purposes, probably. This was also foreshadowed in the Otherworld Hospital the first time we went through. This room was here, but we didn't hear like bird flapping sounds. There's a key of Phallic. So now we can go through the Phallic door, which is this one. And this room is here. Chat, this is the basement. This is the secret basement of the hospital. Also, very interesting thing here. So, these are the, these are mumblers, but they're shadowed. They're like the, shadow child, but shadow mumbler. And you can actually hit them, like you saw me do there just now. They actually do hurt. But yeah, this is, again, this weird space in the other world. It makes no sense. It's in a chaotic field. We go through this door, and we go to the secret basement of the hospital. So we're here now. With more special doors. Bethor is carved on the door. This is the kitchen room from the hospital. This is where we collected, in the normal world of the hospital, that's where we collected the vial or the glass jar to pick up the red liquid in the director's room, which we then gave to Sybil. Now there's this massive cabinet here. The chain is missing a link. But do you also hear this? There's like a sound from inside. I ain't gonna take that. But actually, what I'll do is, you know what, this will be a cool, like, death. This is a cool thing they do, and this actually got me the first time. Okay, what we're gonna do, we'll save. Let's save. I'm gonna save here. And then I'm gonna show you guys something. So, let me save. Boom. Let's go back there. So, as you saw, there was like a item there that we needed. So, the Dagger of Melchior. That's what this is called. There is a Dagger of Melchior. Take it. So, if we take it... So, you see, like, You feel like, okay, there's nothing wrong with me just taking this thing. And then you leave, right? Nothing bad is gonna happen. Right? Never mind. Never mind. So, yeah. If you noticed right before, right at the start there when the camera shifted with Harry being dragged, you could see like something was grabbing his leg and pushing him, like pulling him in. That was the tentacle monster from the hospital in that one room where we threw a blood pack at it to like move it away to get an item. That was that. So that's what happens. That's like a special death scene with that, which is very cool. It's nice to have like a cool little death scene to... you know, you kind of feel a little bit bored having you just dying normally, but there's like it's nice to have like when a game has like a cool like little death scene, death animation that's unique, and that's one of those moments, and that actually got me the first time. That did get me the first time. So then you may be wondering, well, how do I get this item? So again, the chain is missing a link, so the reason that monster could take us was because we haven't chained this door shut. And it is missing a link. Oh my god, I did it again. Oh, well actually I can just do this. So we have this ring of contract, and we can use this to add it as a link. And now it shouldn't get out. Oh, it sounds mad. It sounds mad. Haha, you can't get me. Idiot. Silly little tentacle monster. But yeah, that was that. Also, we picked up the Dagger of Melchior. The ancient dagger named after the Magi. Or Magi? Magi? Again, you have your religious imagery here. In this. Again, related to, like, the cult and their religion. My tummy just rumbled. Oh, this room. Again, that's Alyssa there. You could probably say that maybe this was Alyssa's, like, bedroom, almost. Or a room to herself, where she would cry. Again, man, Alyssa had such a fucked up life. When you go into her lore, which I have explained, she had a terrible life. Bullied for how she was. She had psychic powers. People called her a witch. That she should die. That she's a thief. She had to live with a family. She had to live with her mother, who was the head of a dark cult. Which then and then her own mother, head of the cult, forced Alyssa, a 7-year-old child, to be put through a ritual to birth a god by being burned alive? Very, very effed up. Ankh. We picked up an Ankh. Elliptical talisman with a cross inside. So, this room is creepy because the drawings in this like 60 the drawings in this like art style and this PSX like graphic style are creepy. Like, look at these eyes. These look like eyes to me, if you see it. It's just the way they look. Oh, I'm intrigued to see how this will look like in the remake. Because here's the thing, chat. The reason a lot of indie horror games you see have the PSX style graphics like these is because they are creepy. They are creepy. And they can be disturbing to some people. That's why I'm afraid of Minecraft. It's because of its graphic style. It creeps me out. And we see that this room is creeping me out too. But you could see this room here, and it kind of, you could see that this is like, you know, another glimpse into Alessa's mind, into her nightmare. I think you can just faintly see on the door, it says "Help me" on the door. It's and when you think about it, just in the sense of everything, it's dark, man. It's very, very tragic, dark, effed up, what she had to deal with. Again, this area, this nowhere where we're at right now, this final area of the game, we really start to delve into Alessa's subconscious mind. This was the basement room, the storeroom in the basement, where we would have first moved the cabinet to uncover the is it this one or is it a different room? It looks very similar, but anyway, this is a storeroom from the hospital. Also, jelly beans. Jelly beans. Do you want to open the bag? Now, I will admit, finding a pack of jelly beans randomly in this nightmare world would be weird. I mean, would you eat jelly beans from a nightmare world? But obviously Harry isn't going to do that. But there's something inside. Well done, Harry. Nice way to open that. Honestly, that's me sometimes. When I try to open like a packet of crisps or like a... That's happened to me before. I guarantee you that's happened to me before. Anyway, we've got the key of Bethor. That's one of the locked doors. Crisps. Yes, that has happened to me before. Actually, no, not with crisps. I feel like it's happened with something else before. Yeah. It's chips, it's not crisps. What's a kilometer? Blah, 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 blah. I swear I've done it with something else before, but I don't fully remember now. But I've done it before. I've been clumsy like that. But yeah, it's kind of honestly weird, isn't it? Just seeing a pack of jellyfish? Jelly beans. Chat, I'm losing my mind. I'm also psychologically losing it. But yeah, it is honestly, you know, kind of weird to see just a pack of jelly beans in the other world inside Alessa's mind. Maybe Alessa liked jelly beans. Maybe that's how she coped. Poor girl. Also, VHS store. I mean, room. This is where we first used the videotape to watch it, and it looked very corrupted and stuff. However, by the way, we still have that videotape. So we could still use it. And you may be thinking, well, won't it show the same thing again? Well, we gotta remember, this isn't the hospital. This is nowhere. This is from Alessa's mind. This is part of Alessa's mind, so maybe this videotape is different? Or at least maybe a bit more clearer? Never mind, I wasn't close enough. There we go.
What is it? Still has an unusually high fever.
That's Lisa.
Eyes don't open. Getting
She's
a pulse.
talking about
She's
Alessa.
barely breathing. Her skin is all charred. Even when I change the bandages, the blood and pus just start oozing through. Why? What is keeping that child alive? I can't stand it any longer. I won't tell a soul. Promise. So please.
And after learning about the tragic story of Lisa, that videotape feels much more sad and tragic. So that videotape confirms that yes, Lisa was taking care of Alessa after the burning ritual disaster, and how, you know, she was still being kept alive. The way she describes it too is so, like, twisted and messed up. Like, when she said blood and pus kept oozing through the bandages. Like, imagine being a nurse in that situation. Imagine being in that situation. She most definitely got, like, PTSD from that. And so that's why she wanted to leave. She had a bad sense about it all. And she wanted to leave, but unfortunately, she couldn't. Kaufman drugged her to stay. She couldn't leave. Very, very tragic. Very dark. So that just gives a bit more context as to, you know, stuff that was going on in the hospital. But yeah, we have the key of Bethel. And there's one more key that we're missing. The word Aratron is carved on the door. That is the key that's wrapped around the electricity that we have to, like, stop. Key of Bethel. And then we have this bedroom. This is Alessa's bedroom, chat. This is Alessa's room from her home when she was a kid. Nothing unusual. I'm going to come back to this later, near the end. We'll be right back there. But let's go through the Bethor door quickly. Oh, welcome back, Ember. Finally got to the hotel. Wait, are you out and about right now, Ember? Damn. Okay. Well, hope you're doing okay. Hope the trip wasn't too bad. How's the game going? We are very close to the end, and we've been going through the story very much in depth now. We've been going super in depth here near the last part, since a lot of the stuff is revealed here, and a lot of, like, context needs to be made. So we're going in depth. Which is why I really would implore anyone, if you're interested, to watch the VODs previously so you understand what's going on. Because if you're just coming in now, it may be hard to understand. But either way, it's all effed up. It's very dark stuff going on. But yeah. I have a college tour tomorrow, so my parents wanted to go a day later so we don't have to rush tomorrow. Ah, okay. I see. Oh yeah, you mentioned that earlier, didn't you? Yeah. Well, good luck with that. Good luck. The generator is working. Do you want to press the switch? So this is the generator room from the hospital. And we're going to turn it off. And by doing that, we can we can access that key that was locked by the electricity cable because the power's out. Although the elevators will still work. So, there is that. But yeah, we are very close to the end now, chat. We are very close to the end here. What is gonna happen? What is gonna happen? Where was that room? That was at the second floor, wasn't it? Yes. Let's go to the second floor. Wait. Oh, yes. No, it connects. I forgot. It does connect. That should make no sense, but it does because it's nowhere. Oh. Oh. Stay down. Okay, never mind. Ugh. So now we can get this key. This is the last thing we need. Well, last one of the keys that we need. There is a key of Aratron. Take it. Yes. How's my health looking? We're okay. Oh. We are very close to the end, actually. This way. Oh! Right. Oh, now we're in orange. Right. Let's see what's behind this door.
Everything is going according to plan, sheltered in the womb.
But it's not done yet. Half the soul is lost. That is why the seed lies dormant.
And what soul remains captured in that husk is buried deep down in the subconscious.
Are you trying to say it won't work? That wasn't our agreement.
No, these are just stalling tactics. If we lend a hand, we will be able to get power. Never fear, the promise shall not be broken.
But the power we could draw now will be very weak. Almost nothing. Unless we get the other half of the soul.
We'll use a magical spell. Feeling this child's pain, it's sure to come.
But that will take time.
So, we saw a vision there just now. This is that bedroom in that basement. That creepy, secluded bedroom in the secret basement of the hospital. This was where Alessa was being kept. We've been in this room before, but now we know more context. So again, after Alessa was burned alive at the age of 7 years old, Dahlia Gillespie made a deal with Kaufman to keep Alessa in this hospital room. And doing so, it would give time for the god inside Alessa to grow. Because again, that was the whole purpose of the ritual, was to impregnate Alessa at the age of 7 with a god. According to the cult's beliefs. Like a god based upon the cult's and its religion's beliefs. All this stuff was happening to her at the age of 7. It's so evil, so incredibly evil what happened to her. And in that time when she was being kept here, she did not want this god to be born. She did not want whatever her mum wanted, whatever the cult wanted, she did not want it to happen. And so what happened was she essentially separated her soul. So they mentioned in that cutscene there, the other half of the soul is lost. So what does that mean? What happened was, Alessa did not want this god to be born. And so what she did is she separated her soul to make two halves of herself. One half is the Alessa that was in bed, still being taken care of. And then the other half of the soul was a random baby out in the outskirts, outside of Silent Hill, just dumped there. And if you remember, this may sound very familiar because that's how Harry found Cheryl. She was a random baby in the highway around the town of Silent Hill. Him and his wife at the time found Cheryl. That's how they found Cheryl and adopted her. So chat, what I'm saying here is that Cheryl is essentially Alessa. This whole time, Cheryl was the other half of Alessa's soul that she separated from herself in order for the god to not be born from Alessa. That was her tactic to prevent whatever the cult wanted from happening. And that is what Cheryl is. That is Harry's daughter. That is the truth. And that's why they mentioned they wanted the other soul to come back so they could complete the ritual, and then Alessa would birth the god. And that is what happens. Harry and Cheryl come to Silent Hill. Harry crashes his car by Silent Hill, at Silent Hill, on the way there. And then what happens is that... And also Dahlia said that they did a spell. So in a way, Dahlia, forced this to happen. This happening with Cheryl wanting Harry to go to Silent Hill in the first place. They did a spell on Alessa, whereby... Again, Alessa was in so much pain during this time after she got burned. She actually went into a coma. So, for example, right now, in the time of the events of this game chat, Alessa right now is in a coma. And we're about to see her actually very soon. But Alessa's in a coma, and she's in pain, and in that coma, she's in a perpetual, devastating, horrific nightmare because of everything that's going on. And that's sort of why we see the other world. That's the nightmare that everyone in the town has been seeing, that we have been seeing throughout this game. It's from Alessa's mind as she's in a coma. And as Dahlia said, the pain will surely will draw her here. So that spell made Cheryl want Harry not only to bring Harry over to go to Silent Hill just to take a vacation because of the death of, Harry's wife, to cope with that, but also because of the spell that Dahlia did. This is all Dahlia's fault that this happened. And so now that's why it's kind of bad that we helped Dahlia. She tricked us to then trap the apparition of Alessa that we've been seeing. So essentially, what's going on here is that when Cheryl arrived in Silent Hill after the crash, is when immediately Cheryl was like in the trance of like Alessa to be, you know, reunited with the soul. She was put in that spell, in that trance, which is why at the very start of the game, when we see Cheryl in the distance in the fog and we try to catch up to her and say, hey, you know, where are you and stuff, she was like walking away from us. She didn't notice us. Although then again, that was a nightmare sequence. But in a way, you could say that that foreshadowed that idea that, you know, Cheryl was a part of Alessa and that she was tranced into reuniting with Alessa at the end of it all. So essentially, when Cheryl entered Silent Hill, that is when she sort of no longer exists, and she sort of turns into this apparition, this projection of Alessa, which needs to reunite with the real Alessa, which we will see very soon. And that's basically what this cutscene here shows. So, this room has some very effed up history, and now you know why. So yeah, long story short, 7-year-old girl gets impregnated with a god. The girl, to prevent that from happening, splits her soul to delay the god of the birth of God. But then the soul comes back, and yeah, shit goes loose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we have everything we need. So, again, very effed up. Very, very dark. What was going on in the town with Alessa. And that is the truth with Cheryl. Cheryl was essentially a part of Alessa all along. So sadly, in a way, Harry won't really get to see Cheryl like he used to anymore, because it's all changed now. Because as soon as Cheryl arrived in the town is when the process of combining the two souls together to complete Alessa would happen. So essentially, a Cheryl is no more, but of course Harry doesn't know that. Also, we have this room here. This is Alessa's room. This is Alessa's bedroom. And this place is very significant. And here's why. Again, the other world, all the stuff, the monsters that we've been seeing, all of the stuff that we have seen in this game is sort of now we know is related in some way to Alessa's subconscious mind, to her psyche. So, small details like how we see playing cards here, you know, it gives the idea that, you know, Alessa would play playing cards when she was young as a child. And what happens is that we actually see some playing cards in the school, for example, in one of the rooms in the other world. You could also say that the playing cards are related to how in the hospital, one of the puzzles to go through a certain door was us collecting stone plates related to Alice in Wonderland. Again, that may show that, you know, maybe Alessa would read a lot of fairy tales and Alice in Wonderland was one of them. We have these drawings here, and if you look at them, this purple one here, if you look at it, it kind of looks like one of the dogs that we see in the game. And Alessa didn't like dogs, by the way. She was not a dog lover, like me, actually. she didn't like dogs, which is why in the nightmare, you know, and in the town, we see dogs manifested as monsters. Those are manifested from her nightmares because she doesn't like dogs. We also have this thing, if you see in the corner, like it has wings. You could argue that's the pterodactyl monster that we see in the town. Again, a monster manifested from Alessa's mind. So it's very cool seeing how psychologically it all links together. That's why the monsters are significant. They have significance. These butterflies we see here. So Alessa liked butterflies. She was a fan of butterflies. She liked insects. She liked, in particular, butterflies and moths, which is why we fight a moth monster, which we did yesterday. That's why we fight a moth monster. That's why we fight a bug monster. You know? There's also her dress that we usually see her in. That's Alessa's dress. So, again, this is all from her subconscious mind. And all of this is now revealed to us in this sort of storytelling way. And it's so cool. It's so cool. It explains everything very well at the end of it. When you think about it very deeply, it all makes sense. Again, whatever we've seen has had a purpose as to why it's there. And that's what this game does very well when you, like, think about it deeply. But yeah. So, we have this door. It's locked. Thou possess them to guard thy spirit, evoke 5 rites, unveil thy fate. So, if you see on the door, there are some indentations, and if you notice closely, those are indentations for items that we have. So, the Star Solomon sign, the Dagger of Melchior. I'm pointing on my screen as if you can see me. Of course you can't, but I'm still pointing. But you have the Ankh there, below where the text is covered. You have the Mercury sigil on the bottom left, and then the Ouroboros symbol on the bottom right. And so we basically add all of this in. Also very cool here, so as soon as we place an item in, we had some audio playing. This is another example of where when you do an action in the game, the audio changes as you progress. It's going to change again. Another tone is added. We keep going. It's like audio is just layered on top every time you do something. It's very, very interesting way to do it. But holy shit, is it loud and stressful. Right. Chat, we are done with this game. We are about to end it. Through this door is the end. We are at the end.
Come along. No. No. I don't want to. Do what Mommy tells you now. I just want you to lend me a teeny bit of your power. That's all. No. I don't want to do it. It will make everyone happy, and it's for your own good, too.
Oh, but Mommy, I just want to be with you. Just two of us. Please understand.
Oh, yes, I see. Maybe Mommy has been wrong.
Mommy!
Why didn't I see this before? There's no reason to wait. Herein lies the mother's womb, containing the power to create life. I could have done it all myself.
Mommy!
You're crazy, Dahlia. Again, just a vision there of her plans to get Alessa to impregnate a freaking god. Like, it's wild. It's wild. Have you ever heard something like that? Of a 7-year-old girl being put into a ritual to freaking summon a god from them. It's wild. It's nuts. It's crazy. But it feels very fitting for a cult. Another important thing I forgot to mention, but the burning ritual that happened, and then the soul, after the burning ritual happened is when, you know, the soul splitting happened between Alessa and Cheryl. That's when the soul split happened as well. And that happened 7 years before the present state of the game that we're in at the moment. So Alessa at the age of 7 did all of this stuff where she got burned alive, forcefully burned alive, although she may have also been burnt because of an accident, because of her accidentally exploding the boiler in their home and causing a fire. And then the soul split between her and Cheryl. She did that at the age of 7. And then 7 years later is when Cheryl and then Harry come to Silent Hill. And then that's where we are right now. So Alessa is 14 years old by the time of these events. So she has had to endure this nightmare for that long. For 7 years, she has had to endure this. Really, really tragic and just downright dark in a way. But it's about to all end, because beyond these stairs into the void is the final confrontation, chat. After everything, we are finally here. We are finally here. Let's do this. Also, when I played this for the first time on stream, I rage quit this final moment because my save file was fucked, because I had no healing items, and I was very low on health. However, I have 16 health drinks, 1 ampule, and 3 first aid kits. We are ballin'. We are gonna win. Enjoy the show. This is very cool what's gonna happen soon. Maybe even crazy.
I was shocked to realize the talisman of Metatron was being used. In spite of the lost soul returning at last.
So on the wheelchair, that is Alessa, like in the flesh. She is in a coma, and that is Alessa. That is the Alessa on that wheelchair just now. And next to Alessa, on the ground, that is what Cheryl has become. The other half of Alessa's full, complete soul.
What a pity.
which has become sort of an aberration of Alessa in the town.
Freeze! What in the devil's name?
That's the two souls together. Not connected yet, but
Dahlia.
also, damn
Well,
Sybil.
well.
Unfortunate
To
there.
think you'd make it this far.
Where's Cheryl? What have you done to her?
What are you talking about? You've seen her many times restored to her former self.
I'm in no mood for jokes.
Don't you see? She's right there.
That's absurd.
You are the only one who thinks so.
Why? Why are you doing this?
It's been a long 7 years. For the 7 years since that terrible day, Alessa has been kept alive, suffering a fate worse than death. Alessa has been trapped in an endless nightmare from which she never awakens. He has been nurtured by that nightmare, waiting for the day.
The god.
to be
They're talking
born.
about the god.
That day has finally come. The time is nigh. Everyone will be released from pain and suffering. Our salvation is at hand. This is the day of reckoning, when all our sorrows will be washed away. When we return to the true paradise, my daughter will be the mother of God.
That's messed up, lady. And now they combine? The two souls combine? Oh? Oh look, it's Drug Lord Kaufman.
Return things to how they were before.
Kaufman!
Did I ask for this? Nobody uses me. You won't get away with this.
Your road is over. We don't need you anymore. What do you think you could accomplish by coming here?
My, aren't we getting cocky? Bet you can't see this.
A Glophitus! I thought I got rid of that!
A Glophitus. That is the name of that red liquid that we used on Sybil, and he has.
You all, well, kept you busy. Ah, you're easy. And there's more where this came from.
Stop it!
Cinematic red bottle throwing. So that is a Glophitus. That is the red liquid we saw in the hospital, and we had. And look what it's about to do. So he throws it at Alessa, who's been reunited with the soul. God ready to be born. Although you're about to see that that's not what's gonna happen now, after he threw that. Oh boy. It's Satan! Also, rip Dahlia. She deserved it. That is what is birthed from Alessa. So that red liquid that we just got. Also, I like how it's completely silent, but it's going to get so loud as soon as we unpause. But what that red liquid did, it is called a glophitus. A glophitus, they don't give a lot of context here, but in Silent Hill 3 they give a bit of that context. A glophitus is a anti-demon like liquid that can prevent like demons and then stop demons from their power and stuff. It's basically like a repellent against stuff like that. So when Kaufman threw that at Alessa, instead of a god being born, although either way, if the god did get born, it would still be maybe something similar to this. But essentially what happened is that the god was sort of underdeveloped or like unprepared to be born at the time. It's sort of like a forced, like almost birthing of the god. But yeah, this thing is a demon. This thing is a demon. This is what the cult worships as their god. It's a demon. Also, very cool. You say it's ugly, Ember. To me, though, I find it a pretty cool design. Again, the wings look like moths, and I don't like that. But other than that, it's an interesting design. But yeah, that is a demon birthed from Alessa, and we now have to fight it. Right, here's what we do. Here's the strat. Rifle. Oh god, lightning. Lightning. Run in circles. Shoot. Oh shit. Lightning. Ouch! Ouch, 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 ouch. Chat, the lightning hurts really bad. Ow. Oh god. Again though, chat, look how effed up that was, right? That demon literally ripped through Alessa's... It literally ripped through Alessa's, like, back and came out of her. I really hope in the remake for this game that they go hard with that transformation, because they can do a lot with that. Oh god. Also, that is the only attack this demon does, is lightning. And there we go. Cool design, but don't like it. That's fair. I mean, it is a demon. It makes sense. Or it was.
Daddy.
Now we have Alessa. Again, she's 14 years old. This is happening to a 14-year-old girl. Now look what she's about to do. She just gave birth to another baby. Harry takes the baby. Like, you just get handed a baby and you just take it. He takes it. The other world is now crumbling apart. So Alessa just birthed another part. She just separated her soul again. She did it again. And Harry takes it. There's Sybil, she wakes up. Sybil survives. I wanted this ending, so this is good. There's Kaufman, drug lord Kaufman, who forced nurses to stay by drugging them, including Lisa. Well, she's about to get her revenge on him now. Bye-bye, Kaufman. You are a very bad man. Again, the other world is just crumbling apart now with the death of the demon god. Which also essentially means that Alessa there is also sort of, you know... that version of Alessa there is sadly also dying. She even stops the thing crumbling for a bit before we go. Again, a 14-year-old girl. And that's it. And that is Silent Hill. Wow. Really? Okay. Oh yeah, also, you remember this? Yes. We actually finished it this time, not like last time when I gave up. But yeah, Harry just runs away with a child birthed by Alessa. Which is essentially another half of Alessa's soul, because that's how Cheryl was born. So... that's essentially Alessa / new baby. But yeah, that's it. That is the end of Silent Hill 1. Harry takes the baby with Sybil, and they will now be able to leave because, in a way, Alessa's influences and her nightmares is no longer present because she's dead. Or that form of her is dead. And yeah. That's why I'm happy, but don't take offense. No, I was just joking. That was cool. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. There's so much to unpack. It is a very dark story. In a way, this ending is also very, like, sort of bittersweet. Again, when you learn about the history with Alessa, you know, being forced at the age of 7 to be taken part in a ritual to birth a god by being impregnated with it, and then being burned alive and still surviving that, then going into a coma where you suffer a nightmare for 7 years. That would be hell. Like, that sounds like hell. And to have that happen to you at the age of 7 is messed up. So it's a very bittersweet ending in a way. But yeah, that's how Silent Hill is like. It's a dark series. Also, do you guys like spoiler bloopers? Because we're about to see one at the moment. I like how they do this. It's like, you know, at the end of the show, they show all the characters in it in a funny, quirky way. Also, yeah, Harry has a new child. Everyone say congratulations to Harry. He's a new father. Again. Everyone, get ready for the... What do they call it? Like, baby shower? Is that what they call it? Everyone get ready for the baby shower. I'm very happy I let Sybil live, by the way. For those of you who don't know how Cheryl looks like, that's how Cheryl looks like, or did look like before the events of this game. That's Alessa. She looks way worse than this. But that's Alessa. That's her mum, who is trying to act like a diva. Ew, ew, don't, she wants to kiss us, ew. She doesn't do too well in the movie. I've heard. And there's my man, Harry Mason, best father of the year. W father. Acting like he's trying to raise us up, but failing. He tried. But yeah, that is Silent Hill, everyone. Also, I love this theme. You may have heard me use this theme before, but it is so good. But yeah, that is that. That is Silent Hill, everyone. That is the first Silent Hill from 1999. We got the good plus ending. Again, there are 5 endings in this game. 2 good ones, 2 bad ones, and 1 UFO ending. Sadly, I don't have time to show the other endings today, but I would definitely, if you're interested, implore you to check out the other ones in your own time if you're interested. But essentially in the good ending, we got the good plus ending, so we got the bestest ending. In the good ending, Sybil isn't even there. It's only us that makes it out, because to get the good ending, you actually have to fight Sybil and kill her in that fight scene at the merry-go-round. So there's that. And then the bad endings happen because you don't save Kaufman at the snooker bar and do his side quest and stuff. And then there's a UFO ending. Love the UFO ending concept in these games. It is a very goofy little ending that they do. And they actually have continuation in other Silent Hill games. So in Silent Hill 2, the UFO ending for Silent Hill 2, Harry's in it. Harry is in the ending for Silent Hill 2 UFO ending. And then in Silent Hill 3, which we'll get to very soon at some point these next few days, they continue it, so they actually add lore to the UFO ending. Silent Hill F has a UFO ending, and they freaking involve the dog from Silent Hill 2's ending. There, if you want another link that Silent Hill F has to Silent Hill, the dog is in charge of the UFO. Crazy. But yeah, chat, I think this is the perfect point to end it for today. And yeah, that is all of a Silent Hill. I really hope you guys enjoyed this part and this Silent Hill story playthrough series that I've done. And again, as I mentioned at the end there, I definitely want to play Silent Hill 3, especially since it is a direct sequel to the very first Silent Hill game. So expect some Silent Hill 3 VODs to come up on the channel as well very soon. Or you could watch it live straight from the source, and the link to where I do my live streams daily will be in the description below if you're interested to follow me there. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.